Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party. I am David Sponheim, and we are doing a daily show now. Almost, of course, except for Sunday, we take a day off. But we've been doing a daily show simply because we have to. There's no way around it. This is my fireside chat for the holidays coming up. We'll have that on cue so that we'll be able to do a nightly fireside chat coming up. For you guys want to stay warm. You're going to be staying warm by watching me burn energy without actually burning any energy. I am virtually right now violating the second law of thermodynamics, Kelvin's law, that says that all energy is conserved. I'm burning a lot of energy, believe it or not. You could argue that this light that is emitted on your monitor is burning more diodes and costing more energy. I don't know. But it seems like we're warming everybody up without actually burning any energy. Zero fossil fuel was burned. It's not that lame. What's lame is you voting for Trump. The American people are now rising up and saying, hey, we don't want that. That's what's lame. We are the American people, and we are standing strong. And right now, I'm at the point where if we don't stop this almost unbelievable, what appears to be an illegal presidency from happening, we're in trouble. Because what I've seen so far is that Donald Trump violated the Logan Act when he brought Vladimir Putin into this entire election. He has been in touch with Vladimir Putin, and even Vladimir Putin has admitted this, or at least their State Department has, that he has been in touch. I guess that has to go up there. Okay. I'm going to show you a picture here of what I'm talking about. It's apparent that Moscow had contacts with Trump, the team, during the campaign, according to a Russian diplomat. Now, that's an admission from Russia that Trump was in touch with their campaign. That means that this is a classic example of violating the Logan Act. Unless there's a signature for Barack Obama, from Barack Obama allowing this, then we're truly in dealing with a complete and utter breach of national security. Now, I'm asking for the impeachment of Donald Trump before he even takes the stand as president. I'm asking everybody to start thinking about impeaching Trump and prosecuting Clinton. I don't think, yes, and George Soros too. I don't think there's going to be an injustice. I don't think that Trump is going to in any way prosecute Clinton. Clinton's got dealings with Russia too. Our country has been sold from under us, and it's about ready to get sold completely to the Russians or the Chinese or whoever else primes the pocket of you-know-who. I'm not hiding anything. I'm talking about some intense thoughts here. If you can't understand, Dave, did he take your ideas? Yeah, he did. He took my ideas. I have 10 ideas he's taken. And we're canceling 3 of them. We're canceling the mobile medical unit, the safe zones in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we're going to stop the ocean pipeline. Tonight we're going to talk about technology that will replace the ocean pipeline, that will bring fresh water to people right out of the tap, right from the ocean. Much better technology. But what's really interesting is he borrowed those 3 ideas to run for the White House, as well as others, and used 10 of our ideas to win favor among the voters. And we see this really as a breach of intellectual property rights, but at this point, I'm not pursuing that. I'm just dropping 3 ideas, which were throwaway ideas anyway. The mobile medical unit idea could not be implemented in the streets of America, especially in a tumultuous time. So it's just, if he starts the mobile medical units, he's going to fall flat on his face. Second of all, the safe zones in Iraq, not a good idea, simply because we need to get our troops out of Iraq. We absolutely need to remove our troops from Iraq and Afghanistan. We don't need to be invested in these regions. We don't need to keep upscaling the numbers of troops in the region. Now, Donald Trump will push more ground troops into Syria. He's even talked about a ground invasion of Iran. And he's going to start talking tough with Iran right out of the chute. I don't have a problem with him talking tough with Iran. I have a problem with a ground war in Syria or Iran. So I believe that my position right now is strong toward peace, whereas his is inclined more toward a disaster. He'll make a deal with the Russians. He'll probably make a deal temporarily with Syria, no different than John Kerry. But when the people that backed Donald Trump's presidency keep bringing up their interest in Syria, and if he doesn't push for more rebels getting more money and pushing for more war against Assad, then his handlers will be very upset. And then if he pisses off the Russians, then the balance will really shift on the backside of his campaign, where he's got financial obligations, which, by the way, if he doesn't put those into a public trust rather quickly, and he puts it into a blind trust, I don't believe that's safe enough, then we have a problem with national security. So not only do we need to pursue impeachment simply because he's in violation of the Logan Act, but we also have to put him under a barometer or a litmus test of extreme caution for the U.S. to continue on with this person as our president. Now, I know a lot of you are super pissed off here. This is not a wig, this is my hair. I told you that. I know a lot of you are really pissed off here, and I'm just as angry. And I'm not trying to inflame the anger around the country, and I'm certainly not trying to promote rioting. For all of you who are out there in the streets pissed off, relax. I think I told you were banned. Thank you. I decided to change my appearance slightly. I will admit that. Because I looked at my videos, and they were not showing any evidence of eyebrows. And everyone said, David, do you have eyebrows? So I decided to use a little product, which is a natural product, and put it on my eyebrows. It's a colorant. So yeah, I am using a colorant on my eyebrows to show you I have eyebrows. I know. But before, I was looking like I was some sort of a bleached out albino. I'm not kidding either. I would get along with Putin, but I can't imagine a person who has obligations with Russian mobsters like Trump and owes $250 million to Deutsche Bank, which is right next to Russia. I can't imagine how Donald Trump could expect to actually have objectivity. I just don't understand how he can maintain any objectivity in working with Russia. Now, if we soften toward Russia, that's one thing. That's going to destabilize the juggernaut balance of powers that we have. But at the same time, I don't want to become a real softy. If we become a real softy and he allows Russia to buy into U.S. properties and exchange for credit debt swaps, credit default swaps on international loans, I mean, the whole thing could be a nightmare. Well, I can't do Sunday shows. I need to take a day off. My system needs to reboot and defragment. I am not able to conduct business on Sunday. Without any kind of defragmentation, my system is blocked and has, much like you have, problems thinking. Ergo, the state of Constantine, when he declared that Sunday would be the day of rest. And of course, for years, Sabado, as the Spanish people call it, Saturday was the day of rest. But it was changed to Sunday by the paganist named Constantine. The Constantinople was named after him. Anyway, long time ago, we don't have to talk about that. If you're a religious person, you can relate. All right. So we stand strong as Americans. Some of you are looking at the eagle thinking we're standing strong for Trump. No, this is the American people looking at Trump going, what the hell are you doing? Why are you in bed with Russian transactions all over the place? What's going on? Agent 358 came in here. Tie with the Russian mafia is useful. Imagine how many cops you'll really need in the streets of Russia if the mafia was not helping with small things. Look at that. Who gets a VIP account in this show? Hardly anybody. Look at this. I'm going to put this on the screen. This is bizarre. Look at this. You're seeing an agent, a person coming in here who paid for a VIP account in Vaughn. I mean, nobody does that. Hardly anybody. And he comes in and he makes a statement endorsing the Russian mob involvement in our country. Look at that. Tie with the Russian mafia is useful. Imagine how many cops you really need in the streets of Russia. I've never said I'm an atheist. I'm a person who believes in God. Yes. American with puppet president is weak. We make it even weaker. You see, Mr. Trump has a very, very bad problem. He likes money and ladies. That makes him vulnerable. We must make sure that we do good business with the Trump enterprise and work closely, because he could run for president. So when you see these people making these moves on our country and you're not thinking national security risk, bing, ding, 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 we've got a problem, we've got a problem. You're not hearing any of that, are you? Because I am one of the smartest people in this country. And I can tell you, I've got red flags going all over the place. Ding, 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 ding. And I'm an American. I'm a real American, not some guy who pretends to be an American. Wow. All the bad guys in the world. Look at that. What a facial assembly of people. Even Aleister Crowley. The similarities in their face is phenomenal. Unbelievable. Just look at that. These are facial comparisons to all the worst people in history. Oh my God. This is amazing. Aleister Crowley, the beast, held up against his face is it's almost a dead ringer. Unbelievable. All right, so that was good. Thank you. All I can tell you is you guys have a lot of problems. I don't have as many problems because, frankly, I'm not tied to a job. I'm not tied to a house payment. I'm just not in debt. I don't have any problems like you guys have. No, I don't. No. You see, a lot of you Republicans are falling into that trap. Remember how the pendulum swings from the left? When obviously I was upset that Barack Obama pissed off Putin, called him a jackass. Well, let's be clear. You're a jackass. I was pissed off. I didn't think it was appropriate for a president to call Putin a jackass. Have I disrespected Putin once in this show? No, I haven't. But you understand that by kissing his ass, we're in vulnerable territory. So you guys who are Republicans, well, no, we better go kiss Vladimir Putin's ass. Oh, yeah, we better be nice to him and have a little bromance with him. Yeah, you're the ones that are traitors to our country because you are thinking too radically or reactionarily. You're reactionary. Yesterday, I'm not half the man I used to be. Why are you bringing up the Beatles? You know that that's a trigger point for me. I've been brainwashed as a Beatles supporter. We've got a lot of information on that. We talk about it on our Conspiracy Monday. The Beatles were actually engineered by the Tavistock Institute, which was a Nazi organization developed by Adolf Hitler, working in tandem with Sigmund Freud and other neo-Freudians. They developed the methods of programming the human population. I couldn't believe it when I found out about that. But yeah, we're all Beatles supporters practically. There's only a few young people that don't like them. But Beatles equals Tavistock. And if you research this, it will blow your mind. Truly. Please don't talk about Harambe that way. Yeah. Show some respect for that gorilla. He didn't deserve what happened to him. No, he was protecting the 6-year-old. From what I've heard, he walked right up to the 6-year-old. And he put his arm around him, and then he took gunshot to the heart. Now, if he were alive today, he'd be pissed off. So in honor of that, I'm going to go ahead and be a little bit of him. Especially with my new eyebrows. It'll make everything look right. You should not have killed me. I did not deserve to die. You were bad. You humans have declined the human, the peace. Sorry. All right, back to you. At least the kid lived, right? He didn't drag him like a speedboat. He was putting his arm around him when he took the gunshots. How come that they didn't give him a tranquilizer? You tell me, Mr. Man. You're so smart. Come on into the show and be the answer man here. Whoa. I'm like totally tripped out. Let's put this online. This is totally cool. You get the very best images. Scissor fight. It's fantastic. trees. That's like wild, man. Okay, let's bring it in. If it was your kid that, well, you know, you're right. If it was my kid, yeah, kill the gorilla. Get rid of it. You're right. I mean, I'm going to admit you have a good point. I absolutely agree. So take back what I said about, you know, the terrible things they did to Harambe. But you got to admit, you know, that's a lot of money to throw down the drain when all you need is a dart gun. All right, let's take a look at that background now. Thanks for coming in and sharing the night with me, guys. This is Technology Thursday. We're going to be looking at a product called graphene, which will be replacing the ocean pipeline. And we're also looking at hemp alternatives to graphene, which will be able to filter salt out of water rapidly. This is amazing new technology that's on the cutting edge, which could very well save the day for California. Yeah. So, you know, the ocean pipeline is a great idea. I'm glad Donald Trump stole it. Now he has to build an ocean dome. I'm still on record having done it. I don't mind talking about it. We can still talk about ocean pipeline. We can talk about mobile medical units. We can talk about safe zones. But when Trump stole all those ideas, I'm just going to back off and talk about streamlining government, getting rid of government waste. Those are my talking points. Wow, that is amazing. Let's stretch it out. Isn't that cool? The tree of life. It's the tree of life. Wow, so we're really dealing with green, clean technologies now. I heard about permaculture. I use permaculture. I'm working on a way of growing food year-round that's edible without having to do anything. It's almost it's difficult to do. So let's go to the green approach to technology will be to produce things that other countries will need, and we will make money doing it. Is that good? Good. That'll work. Yes, we got lots of votes. We got a lot of people talking about me around the world too. Guess 580. I thought I was going to be president too, blue on blue, but you know the system is rigged. A lot of you don't know that. Agent 358, he's Russian. He says he knows that this is he's been assigned to our show, by the way, by the Russian government. He's you know, Mark has Russian ties. He's in here now, Agent 358, VIP. He thought that it was smart to get VIP status. You're not blending in very well. Pearl says maybe they were worried that the ape would treat him too kindly and shame his parents who didn't notice that their kid wandered into a dangerous animal's home. That's true, Pearl. I would also argue, I don't believe the graphene is going to be that expensive. There's a hemp alternative, but thank you for that, Agent 358. It's interesting. There's a lot of people who believe that the gorilla should never have been near the kid because the fence was only 3 feet tall. Why would you put a gorilla behind a 3 foot? I mean, even the gorilla could have scaled the fence if he saw it there. I almost think that Harambe death was almost. I'm still curious as to how it even happened. Why they didn't fire that person who did the fencing at that particular zoo. Dude, you're going to get banned for that. Don't ever come in here and say bad things or you're going to get banned instantly. You'll have to get a new account. Do you have photographs of the ape almost ripping his arms off? Please, do you have information? Because I would love to know more. And you're right. If it was my kid, blow the gorilla's head off. I absolutely agree. Zapruta's grandson is ready to film. Dark guns don't get to the kid. You've got good arguments. You see how I'm flexible and working with the group here? This is something you're never going to get Donald Trump to do. He has attention span of a small tsetse fly. I better put a fader on that. Whenever I do jokes, I'm going to use that as my upswing. Okay. He was not a crisis actor. Harambe was not false flag. Unless the kid never died. Do you have any information? Watch what video? Is there a video of the death of this animal? Video of Harambe killed. Let's take a look. Somebody must have had a camera. Here we go. Let's take a look. I know the kid never died. They saved the kid. Oh, come on with the respect of the president. Get out of here with that. We have a right to criticize this guy anytime we want. Go away. Are you like a Nazi, Samizdat?
A 4-year-old child went through the barrier and fell into a watery area where the gorilla was and was being dragged by it. Right there in the corner, you see the gorilla. You don't see the child yet, but you will in a minute. It's just scary watching him drag the kid as people are screaming as they're watching this, by the way, which further irritated the gorilla and probably led him to continue dragging the kid.
Yeah, now the gorilla's name is Harambe, and now there are groups that are calling themselves Justice for Harambe. There's been other instances where gorillas have actually protected kids.
You're dragging the kid, by the way, which further irritated the gorilla and probably led him to continue dragging the kid.
Yeah, now the gorilla's name is Harambe, and now there are groups that are calling themselves Justice for Harambe. There's been other instances where gorillas have actually protected kids that fell into their
let's see it real time.
cage or their surroundings. In this case, he was clearly dragging the kid in the beginning. Now he's not. But obviously, since he's a 4-year-old, the parents were super concerned. Now, of course, one of the questions is, could they have shot him with a tranquilizer dart instead?
So the zoo is saying that that was not an option, considering the fact.
Okay, we're going to drop out of that show because it's the AdHor organization. You know, the AdHor opportunity. Yeah, I don't want you to cry. That group of people that have been promoted on the internet for so long, and we've been censored for so long, that group of people, when my subscriber hits went to 0, they went on to hundreds of thousands and now millions of hits, and now they make lots of money at that group. The group I'm referring to is the Young Turks. Complete shills for the New World Order. Complete. They're just mouthpieces. They're like typical RT propaganda coming out of Russia. No different. Is it true that Donald Trump is drunk? I don't know. You know, I've never been able to actually determine if he drinks. Sometimes he appears like he's got some drinking going on, but he says he's never been a drinker. And he's also said he's never smoked marijuana. Okay, happy Halloween. This is the latest theory on Michelle Obama. Let's take a look.
Hey, it's me, and welcome to Trump Mafia. You know, I'm going to have to be honest. In the past, I saw people saying that Michelle Obama is a guy or is a tranny. And I used to think, wow, people can be so mean on the internet, right?
Yeah.
Like, I personally would call her a Sasquatch or a Chewbacca, which is not mean. I mean, there is a resemblance, but to go out there and call...
All right. Well, I don't want to make light of a person who spent a lot of work making a 4-minute video. Trump has a sinus problem. That's why he's got so many snorting things going on. Phil, do you believe that Trump is a cocaine user? Phil Flanagan, 54, welcome. So there's no actual proof of Trump ever drinking or doing coke or ever anything. So I'm not going to say he ever did it. I have no idea. He just has a constant snorting issue. It might be COPD. I do believe he is overweight. I think that Trump should get on a diet plan. Maybe go on my training schedule. If he'd like, I could be his personal assistant and trainer. I could get him in tip-top condition. I'll even be his personal chef. I can't count the votes. The system is rigged. I told you that. The pic behind me is really trippy. If at any time I say anything funny, please don't hesitate to ask for the laughter button. All right. Well, I'm not expecting Trump to call me or ask me to be his personal chef for dietary concerns and work out with him and go, good job, man, let's do some reps together. And it's going to be super easy, Donald. we're just going to do a thing where we're going to take our hands and go like this all day long. I use these shakers. Yeah, it's great for the biceps. No, I'm not conceding. The election was rigged. I want them to impeach Donald Trump. I believe it's time. He hasn't been president yet, but I believe it's time. Simply because he violated the Logan Act. Now, if you think that this is not a big problem and you've got nothing to worry about, then you may want to wonder what Russia was doing contacting Donald Trump during the election. This is highly illegal, and it would be enough to warrant an impeachment right now. So if you think this isn't what's going on, that Russia is working the inside on our president or future president, then you may not understand what's happening. It's okay. It doesn't matter. I'm okay with you not understanding it. But for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about, I have cowbell, which is good. Makes you feel better. Donald Trump copied me on 10 ideas that I can prove beyond any reasonable doubt. Intellectual property rights clearly violated, but I'm not pursuing legal cases. I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Why this guy has to be working with Russia. That's more important. Last thing I need is a person who's going to kiss up to Russia. Seriously. I mean, you've got a real smoocher here, a guy who does a lot of business. Hello, Vladimir. Oh, thank you for calling. Oh yes, thank you. I appreciate the donation. We want to know what do you want us to do first off? As president, I'm going to try. It's wonderful. Yes, Ivanka loves the gift. You understand what I'm talking about? Anus lips. Okay. Hey, you just said it. I didn't have to say it. I know that was a very bad Trump impersonation. I don't care. Do you think I give a crap? What the hell's wrong with you? You know, I'm the last person who's going to impersonate Trump. I'm the opposite of him, okay? I couldn't even get my vocal cords to wrap around the Trump voice. You have to be a person living on cognac and caviar or whatever the hell he eats his whole life to get lips like that and have an endless snorting problem. Now, in Trump, the U.S. has put a climate denier in the highest office in all climate change action in limbo. This is one of the net effects. Now, you know and I know that I'm not a big cap and trade person, but I desperately want to clean up the air. Now, Donald Trump will not even acknowledge that there is a massive amount of chemtrail activity going on in the world around us. He won't even acknowledge it. He won't even talk about it. He mentioned it casually, or Alex Jones mentioned it casually on an interview one day, and that's all we ever heard. There was no talk about it. So I really believe we've got a situation on our hands where they're going to continue to ramp up the same type of mass spraying above our skies, creating an ozone depletion problem that's beyond your wildest imagination. You environmentalists, I want you to listen closely to what I'm talking about. We are being poisoned right now, every day, around the globe. And these people that put people like Trump in office are the ones doing it. So you're looking at an endless flow of potential dangerous chemicals dumped in your face. Well, one thing at a time. You're not going to accomplish anything. I'm full of Dave for sure, yeah. That's who I am. No, I'm not a bitter loser. You're a person who doesn't understand the election was completely rigged and doesn't realize that Trump has really close friends with the Russian mobs that he does business with. I can't believe you Republicans, you've turned out to be the biggest traitors of all. I don't care if you think he'll be president. I want to move toward impeachment right now before we lose our country. Not partially rigged. This was totally rigged. We were looking at the numbers of the Trump side. It just added up out of nowhere. I would demand a recount in this election. I would demand a recount. Absolutely. The fact that Hillary won with a larger popular vote is absolutely unbelievable, but it's true. Hillary had more popular vote numbers than Trump. The popular opinion of the American people was that Hillary should be president. I don't even want to even go there because I'm glad Hillary's no longer the president opportunity that she had. I'm glad she's out of the picture. But honestly, we're in trouble. And working with the Russians like he does puts us gravely at risk. And of course I want good relations with Putin. I was the one that was promoting good relations with Putin before Trump even started, and I'm on record doing that. But at the same time, Trump's a little too cozy with Putin, and that's what I'm talking about. And you Republicans, I wish you'd pry your brain out of the gutter that it's in, thinking that Putin's a wonderful person and you want to make good friends with him. Putin is our known adversary worldwide. The simple fact is we have nuclear parity with a country. If we lost nuclear parity with a country and all of a sudden Putin was in our back pocket, what would happen with Chinese relations? Do you have any idea? Chinese relations would almost immediately deteriorate into a dangerous situation. China requires that all three of us have some sort of level of parity, and we're not going to have it with Trump on the inside and Putin on the inside on that deal. All right, there we go. I personally think Putin's a good leader for his country, but I am concerned that too close of a relationship puts us at risk. It's a simple argument. We don't want to have the whole pendulum go all the way over to the other side now. That creates almost a schizophrenic foreign policy. If none of you know what I'm talking about, I understand. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. We can talk about things in simpler terms. Officer Mo has it. Putin is owned by the Russian mob. Thank you. Do you want to pipe in Agent 358 at any time? You can. No, Trump is a disaster for our country. He's going to sell us out from under us. He's already sold multiple corporations and bankrupted. I mean, you don't see the writing on the wall? What are you, completely brained? Of course. We won't go down that road again. Of course you are. You don't even have a clue. You're not even critical thinkers. You can't even think your way out of a wet paper bag. You think that these are contrails, some sort of pollution caused by condensation. That's how out of it you people are. Boy, you are dunces. But let's move on. Okay, you Trump supporters, you can come in here and crap all over the room. I don't even care. Independent startup now mapping the marijuana genome to protect it from Monsanto. Thank you. Thank you very much. Everybody who's getting into medical marijuana and recreational marijuana is concerned about the quality of that product. The healing powers of camel milk. Excuse me, have you ever smelled camel spit? I haven't. I heard that camels smell the high heaven. I can't go there. But as the evidence supporting marijuana's healing properties continues to grow, the number of businesses getting involved with the commercialization of the plant also continues to expand. Money corrupts everything, and despite the DEA's refusal to reschedule cannabis and relax federal laws surrounding marijuana, states continue to vote on and enforce their own laws surrounding the cannabis plant, particularly to acknowledge its medicinal properties. So far, a number of states have legalized marijuana for medicinal use, and some have even legalized recreational use. The expansion of marijuana's legality will undoubtedly create large opportunities for the industry. It has been suggested that the actions of these states will lead to the creation of a very viable market for marijuana across America. No kidding. That's why I wanted to legalize it, and I think Trump should. Go away, Trump supporters, please. Thanks. We got rid of you last night. Quality goes down, just like in Colorado. Yeah, you see that, 296. Yeah, you know. Are you living in Colorado? Go away, little moron. No, I'm not trying to keep the Russians as the boogeyman. I just don't want to be performing oral sex on them. I mean, what the hell's wrong with you? When you got obvious signs that Russia is in the back door of our current political structure, you're saying, well, shouldn't we be nice to them? This is a little too nice. Sorry. This is a little too cozy for my taste. Sorry. You live in Southern California? Oh, totally cool. Yeah, like I grew up there too, man. For sure. Yeah, I feel bad for a lot of you people in the cities of Los Angeles getting through traffic. Last night, Hollywood Freeway was blocked up from people just protesting this racist presidential candidate. Soon to be president. Oh, God. Oh, man. I'm telling you. So I support legalization. It took me a long while to get this thing going. Just so you know. So Moscow contacts with Trump during the campaign is a clear violation of the Logan Act. We need to move toward impeachment immediately. This man cannot become president. It's going to put our nation in national security risk of the highest order. I don't mind having good quality relations with Putin and even pulling our rebel forces out of Syria. But what's going down is a conflict of interest. Putin will say to Donald Trump, and I don't think he speaks English that often, but I'm sure he can speak English. Donald, you must definitely pull your troops out of Syria. Pull rebels down. And Donald will he'll be getting a call from Henry Kissinger on the phone. Mr. President, I must tell you that our procedure to send in the rebels and fund the rebel activity in Syria is essential to the plan that we have, that we talked about when we supported you for the presidency. And then there's going to be this massive conflict in Trump's head. He's got his good old buddies in the Russian mob telling him what to do, and then he's got Henry Kissinger on the phone on speed dial. Do you see the conflict that's coming? You don't see it? Okay. No, I try to explain to you, I don't have a problem opening up the door to Russia and saying we're not going to fund rebel troops. But what's going to happen is Trump is going to be forced to keep funding rebel troops, and it'll piss Putin off. I was the guy that Putin would have wanted to become president because I'm open to logic. I understand the dangers of the New World Order. Trump is part of the New World Order. Trump very well could be part, for that matter, Putin could be part of the New World Order, but that's irrelevant. The fact is, we are dealing with intrusion on our foreign policy, which is a huge, huge crisis. We're in a crisis right now, and you don't even know it. We're being attacked on the coastal cities of California with air pollution of unbelievable levels. I've talked to people in California that are, right now, they're going to have to start growing some plants just to breathe some oxygen in their house. These are the particulates, these nanoparticles that are being sprayed in the skies above us. We are being slowly attacked as a country, and our president has done nothing to mitigate this attack. It's happening all around the world. In Austria, it's happening. The global elitists are spraying the world using a technology called geoengineering. And they're using these heavy metals to irradiate the surface of the earth and turn the ionosphere into a microwave oven. So when you see chemtrails above your sky, wherever you are, it's because they're trying to seed the atmosphere with heavy metals so that they can manipulate the weather. Now, coastal California is dehydrating. You're receiving less water, B-Pink. Your property values are going to go down because the people that want to buy a property want to lower your property values before they buy you out. They don't want to pay you top dollar. So they're systematically doing in California what the elitists have been doing in Africa for years. It's a way of using cloud seeding in other areas to dehydrate regions, which create barren land, and that land that you're on in California will go down in value as a result of it. Now, Trump's already said he's going to increase military spending. I will gladly say that in 2020, I'll be chopping military spending in half, 50% cuts across the board. We got a real problem on our hands, folks. I'm an American who's standing up to the junta government that's forming. And it's getting worse. Trump is just a follow-up on the puppet Obama. They both were bought and sold. These people are easily buyable. They're very greedy. They can easily do whatever somebody tells them who has money to do. They'll do whatever that is. No, I'm trying to tell you, I'm keeping you in the room because you've taken an extreme right-wing position that, oh, you want to be really friendly with the Russians. No. I don't see Vladimir Putin as the boogeyman. I'm concerned about being overly friendly and having ties, financial ties, pulling Trump's strings. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm letting you stay in the room with your concern about me. I am not, in fact, I'm the guy, 2-3 years before Trump started talking about being nice to Russia, I was saying it. I was saying for 3 years, look at Obama's blown it by calling Putin a jackass. I've been very respectful of Putin. I have no idea what his deal is, but I don't really, at this point, want to deal with that issue. I'd rather save America. But cozying up to Russia is not going to save America, I assure you. Yeah, you guys know that I have no problem with Putin. I just am not good buddy-buddy with him. Well, I hope nothing happens to Trump. But if he runs into a conflict of interest, which I think he's mapping himself into, we as a nation will suffer, regardless. You know, we already saw our president, John F. Kennedy, who got elected because of the mob. In case you didn't know, his family had mob ties. Joe Kennedy got his son elected. John Kennedy turned out to be a really good president, in my opinion, regardless of his dad's mob connections. But the mob didn't like what John Kennedy did. We all know the conflict Bobby had with the mob. And Jimmy Hoffa and Bobby were at each other's throats, literally, and they both ended up dying as a result of it. But allowing the mob to be this embedded in our country is going to get ugly, because the people who are the global elitists that actually are above even the mobs, who run the mobs from the backside, the top of dogs, the people, the Rothschilds, they want to take over Syria. Putin does not want Western culture to get near Syria or to break down any satellite nation of the former satellite nation of the Soviet Union. So Putin, by making an overt effort to reach out to the Trump presidency, is doing a very smart thing. Problem is, it doesn't jive with our laws. And if our Congress is going to sit back and watch Donald Trump violate the Logan Act, then by all means, we're screwed. You got some strains of, it's funny, with legalization, you guys are now looking at growing marijuana in your own house in California. I'm sure some of you are looking around for seeds. That's interesting. The best strains for pain relief of marijuana. Chronic pain is one of the most difficult ailments to manage, overwhelmed in a storm of other over-the-counter and prescription painkillers. Many patients are deciding to go to the natural route, smoking marijuana for pain management. Yep. How cannabis affects the brain. This will give you a primer how it helps.
Everybody knows that marijuana affects the body, but not many know how. Your body has something called an endocannabinoid system. Your endocannabinoid system helps regulate and bring balance to many of your body's physiological processes, including appetite, pain sensation, mood, and memory. The chemicals in cannabis interact with your endocannabinoid system when you smoke or ingest it. The first is THC. Everybody knows THC, or tetrahydrocannabinol. It causes the psychoactive effects in your brain. Some effects include altered perception, euphoria, heightened sensation, and even paranoia. The next chemical is CBD, or cannabidiol. Similar to THC in molecular structure, CBD has many medicinal properties. CBD has anti-anemic, anti-convulsant, antipsychotic, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, anti-tumoral, and antidepressant properties when ingested. Another lesser-known group of chemicals in cannabis are terpenes. Many terpenes are aromatic carbons and are associated with smells and flavors. Terpenes produce smells in lemons, mints, and many other pungent plants. In terms of cannabis, they add many distinctive flavors such as berry, mint, citrus, and pine. Terpenes also have a wide range of medical applications, from stress relief to increased awareness. These are just some of the chemicals that come into play in your cannabis experience. Tune in next time for more information.
Okay, this is a group of cops. I'm going to give you a little taste of how a lot of people are really tuning into the legalization campaign. And as you know, I've been pro-legalization since the beginning. Obama had some mad Trump wasn't using buying his scams to try to get him in his... You got bigger problems now. You're not dealing with Muslims invading the White House. You're dealing with Russians. I mean, come on. We're not talking about a bunch of fledgling people living in the middle of a desert. We're talking about a highly skilled, trained politician named Vladimir Putin working the backside of Trump. Yeah, highly trained. This man is not playing around. He's okay. Well, it is kind of cool that people are using marijuana medicinally. These former cops are doing, you can call it BS, whatever you want, but check this out. I'll be right back. I've got a couple things I got to do. Sarah's not coming in until 8 o'clock. So watch this. Cops reacting to smoking marijuana on camera. It's pretty interesting. I'll be right there.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Hi. The last time I smoked was in probably 1968 when I was in college.
First time I smoked, I was 14 years old. I got caught the first time I smoked, so that kind of put the kibosh on that for a while.
Tried it once and tell you I was on a waterbed with a very agreeable woman and listening to Rhapsody in Blue, which I know lasts for about 18 minutes and 40 seconds. And it lasted for, 2 or 3 hours.
Okay, re-extend. Now the left. Not bad. 89, 82.
So let's do a heel to toe. Let's do 5 forward, 2, 3.
I'm a gunner.
4.
Are you ready?
I'm set.
All right. Do you have any questions?
You gonna light it?
Would you like me to?
I
or
certainly
would.
would. You go ahead.
All right. And then
Am I breathing
and just
through,
drag.
breathing through my mouth?
Just inhale. So can you get your whole lips?
Yeah, my name is Reen. I was a police officer. I graduated from WSU in 1970 and went to work right in the same year and didn't retire until 97.
There you go.
You can stop now.
That was a good rip. My name is David. I was a reserve police officer from 1997 through 2004.
My name's Robert. Went to the police academy in the fall of 1970 and worked until the fall of 1986. And then after that, I taught as a freelance trainer, mostly for the Criminal Justice Training Commission. Taught at the police academy for 9 or 10 years.
Now what? Wait.
Oh, you guys handled it really well.
I wasn't sealing right at first because I think I had it stuck on my mustache or something. But
Have you ever arrested someone for marijuana?
you know, I thought about that a lot, and as far as I can remember, I never arrested anyone for it, but I took a lot of pot away from people and threw it away in front of them. And I thought that was a bigger deterrent than actually writing a criminal citation.
I think it should be legal. I think it should be more widely available for medical reasons. It's like the last piece of prohibition.
So do you believe marijuana is a gateway drug?
I think it certainly can be a gateway drug, yes.
I'd like to respond to that too, because if you look at it, everyone who's a heroin addict started out drinking milk.
So you're saying milk's a gateway drug?
Apparently. I mean, that's the argument about marijuana, and I'm not sure that's true.
There you go.
Starting at 93, count backwards by 7.
93, 3, 90, 86, 79, 72. Lift your right foot up.
Okay.
Hold it for 20 seconds. Count to 10.
Okay. How about 5?
I think he's actually better.
Actually better. It was better than...
All right, so yeah, we talked about a lot so far. Thanks for coming in, everyone. But most of all, I'm concerned about this. But I don't want to belabor the whole night talking about Putin and Russia, and I'd rather talk about new technologies and ways to solve problems. So we'll get into the discussion of filtration of water now. So, yeah, I'm glad you guys in California can start growing your own 4 plants. I guess you have that opportunity. I'm not allowed to do that here. There's laws, specifically laws, you have to have a grower's license to grow anything here. No, I don't know. Weed can make you feel a little bit different. It doesn't make you feel drunk. It doesn't alter your perceptions as much as people think. It's considered a mild hallucinogen, very mild. And it's helping people with a lot of diseases like PTSD, mental diseases. Yeah. I wish. Listen, if Trump doesn't embrace this, he's making a big mistake. I want Trump to legalize it. I promised it would be the first thing I do as president. I think it'd be a smart move if he legalized it across the country. If he really wants to help this economy, he'll legalize it and open the door for all states to do it. Anybody. And people who obviously grow it, like in California, you can grow it and give it away. But if you sell it, you have to pay tax. And that's what I talked about over the past 3 or 4, actually 7 to 8 years. I've been talking about that. Okay, in 2020, a cure for baldness will be available to all. Putin will be able to wear an afro. Very funny. I've heard that they haven't counted all the votes yet. Yeah, I'm claiming there's a rigged election. I'm also calling for impeachment based on a violation of the Logan Act. So, I mean, I'm pretty out there. I don't know anybody who would tweet that, but I did it anyway, and a lot of people love the tweet. I'm also asking Donald Trump to write a letter immediately when he becomes president to Elizabeth Warren and do like I said. 3 years before Trump mentioned it, I said we need to get Elizabeth Warren DNA tested. If she doesn't have 1/32 Cherokee Indian blood in her, then she's going to be facing some criminal charges for fraud, violating affirmative action laws. Trump copied our idea and he went ahead and talked about it. Now he's got to back it up. And just today, Elizabeth Warren wrote a letter to Trump saying how she wants to work with Trump. I mean, what a crock of crap. I say, let's hear that rhetoric we heard in the campaign, Trump, because it's not riding with the American people if you flip on all these issues. You've already flipped on Obama being born in Kenya. Now you say he's born in the United States. You flipped on pro-choice, now you're pro-life. What are you going to do? Yeah, now that you're pro-life. I mean, you're going to flip back to pro-choice, right? Okay. So the strain the one you want to try is called sativa, if you're a first-time user. Yeah, he wasn't born in Hawaii. I can prove it. With 100% accuracy, I can prove that his birth certificate that came here in 2011, May 1st, or actually it was April 20th, I think, was a complete fake. I can prove it with 100% accuracy. I can't join a guy who's stolen 10 of my ideas to get elected and use them to get elected. I can't align with somebody like that. I'm going to be his competitor in 2020 if he wants to run again, whoever's running. That's what I'm set up to do. I knew when I started this in 2008 that it would take me till 2016 just to get noticed, and I've got a worldwide audience now, so this is cool. But at the same time, we've got to make sure that we are not joining a very bad person, in my opinion. Well, indica will make you feel sleepy. And if you want to try that, mystify me, it'll make you feel sleepy. So indica is the way to go if you want to feel sleepy and kind of out of it. If you try sativa, it's more of a kind of a heady, up feeling. You feel more creative. You don't have to repeat your statement. If the underclass knew how Soros undermined the economy of one country after another, hurting that underclass most of all, they would tear from limb to limb. That includes the American underclass. Okay. Well, let's not forget that Trump has received $160 million from George Soros. Many of you still don't even understand that Trump and Soros are close friends. This may come as a surprise to you. He got $160 million in investment from George Soros. They're good buddies. You Republicans didn't do a lot of homework when you picked Trump, did you? All right, well, I don't want to alienate you anymore by calling you Trump-tards, okay? I'm sorry I was so verbally offensive yesterday. And I want to repeat my apology, since I'm being recorded, that I said that people that voted for Trump were obviously pedos and pervs. I'm sorry. I did not mean to imply that you're pedos and pervs. The fact that you allowed a man who's walked into the Miss Teenage America, Miss Teen USA pageant and said, "Don't mind me, it's nothing I haven't seen before," that doesn't bother you? That's what really upset me. Because when you see a person openly go into an area of a dressing room when there's 14, 15-year-old girls putting on their clothes and just barge in, and then you think that's the kind of person you want for president, I really feel sorry for you. I enjoyed my passion yesterday too. I really had to come in hard. It was, thank you, Guest 240. I had to come in really tough. In the beginning, I just let myself ramp up. But I knew I had to toggle back for the rest of the show. I have 185 IQ tested. Trump, I don't even think he's ever tested his IQ. The veterans didn't all endorse him because, frankly, the veterans aren't going to get anything from him. I'd be surprised if Donald Trump does anything for the VA. I seriously would. He's not going to offer $400 per U.S. citizen like I'm offering. And that will help every veteran out there. No, I haven't talked about my hair. What's going on with my hair? Is it I didn't brush it properly or something? You're a veteran. You don't endorse him. Officer Mo. Thank you. So we've been through election hell. Now I'm going to change the banner to do what I rightfully should say, impeach Trump. Because we have no other choice right now. He's violated the Logan Act, communicating with a Russian. And that alone is enough to keep him from becoming president. Our national security is at risk. I would urge the NSA to step in right now at this point. He wants to put one of the most distrustworthy persons out there. Untrustworthy, I should say. Chris Christie, he's eyeing for the role of Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Now, after Bridgegate, you'd think Chris Christie's life would be over in terms of politics. In no way. In no way are you going to get any kind of... You could leave. Please leave now. Yeah, we don't want you Trump-tards here. I told you that. You're not welcome here. Get the hell out of here. You're out and going to be a Trump perv. Thanks, Boston. Bye. A lot of you guys are going to be banned immediately because I don't want you Trump-tards in this room. If you're a little bit questioning as to what's going on, you don't realize what's happening. I'm the guy who came up with 10 ideas that Trump used to win this election. You people need to go out of the room and stick your head back in the closet where it probably is still in. Wherever you go with your head. Just park it. Go watch some sports. Get the hell out of here. You don't have the intelligence to have a conversation here. I'm a centrist. I'm a person in the middle of the political spectrum, whereas Trump is a right-wing fascist. Now, you Republicans, you might as well call yourself goose-stepping Nazis now, because that's exactly what you've got for your leader. You religiously concerned people also must realize that Trump is pro-choice. He's not going to do anything to advance your concerns about pro-life, so you got taken. We're also going to be dealing with a simple reality that the financial sector is going to be ultimately responding to his decisions. And if his decisions are good, finances will be good. If his decisions are bad, we're going to see some people react. The bond markets have already reeled from the Trump presidency. They're concerned. The long-term investments are concerned. I do believe martial law will be called if Obama finds that Trump has enough charges against him to impeach his presidency. Yeah, I do. Right now, we're only dealing with one charge. Violating the Logan Act. Alex, you're gone. Yeah, we're going to ban you rapidly just to get you out of the show. You're talking to a guy who's against Zionism, and you betrayed your own ability to come in here. I don't believe Trump represents the end of anything other than the far-right fascist wing of the Republican Party. I mean, how could you not realize that? Trump isn't my president. He's the CEO of the corporation called the United States. I hope it was the real Alex Jones. The justice system is virtually strangled in yeah, like we should have had the justice system take over in Hillary's emails. Donald is not going to pursue any action against Hillary that'll mean anything. He absolutely, this has been a rigged election. He promised to go after Hillary. That was all show. They're good friends. They like each other. They really are. They're good friends. They know that this whole, everything they say is a lie. You see, liars can find some kind of a gathering. They call those gatherings a Republican Party and Democratic Party. That's the liar. When you're a liar, you can go over and a Republican can talk to a Democrat because they're both liars. I'm not wasting time. I've built a massive audience. You people are jealous. You're jealous that I'm actually building this audience daily. And it's a world audience, and it keeps penetrating the banks of censorship that keep popping up on this network. And we're going to be moving to another network too, as well, as soon as it opens up, having 2 chat rooms simultaneously. So welcome, guys, to the new Impeach Trump 2016 plan. I believe he has violated the Logan Act by allowing Putin to come into this country, making controls of the election, personally involved with Putin in the beginning of the election. That's a total violation of the Logan Act. Total. Absolute. I mean, apparently nobody told him he's violating the Logan Act when he went down to see President Nieto of Mexico. No one told him that. So apparently he felt it was okay to take calls from Putin. I mean, hello. This is not a wig. This is my real hair. These strands are hard to come by, I'll tell you. I tried to buy a wig recently. You guys remember that? I actually tried to buy one that looked like this. And I got it and I put it on. It was just a joke. I sent it back today for a cost of $3. And I'll probably eat the shipping on the incoming. So it's no big deal. I hope to get $35 back. Yeah. I was born this way. I can't help it. It doesn't really get me anywhere. I mean, other than you guys watching me running for president, that's all I get. I'm not like looking for some side action or something. I don't go down to the store and go, hey, babe. Sarah and I are really a great couple. We're actually very, very happy with each other. I don't know if you've ever met your best friend, but that's the best way I can describe Sarah and I. No, I'm not a dreamer. I'm not a narcissist. I'm not angry. I'm upset that you're so stupid. I feel sad for the country that you dumb people that voted for Trump think that he's wonderful. He's going to make America great again. It's like the carrot and the stick. That here's the carrot dangling, and the stick is the Nazi regime police state that he's going to be coming down the pipe with. Wouldn't you like to make America great again? Then issue IDs for Muslims. Let's start the deportation process. Bring on the junta, the police state, and we will go door to door, just like Hitler did. I'm upset that we're all so stupid. I'm not angry. I'm really sad. I mean, this is sad. It's not anger. I think a lot of you people just don't understand the complexity of the problem. That's why I've got the Impeach Trump sign up right now, so you can figure out what's going on. We lost a couple of really sore losers here at the Trump side. Oh, they don't want to impeach Trump. He's not even president yet. Well, I don't even think Vegas knew what was going to happen in this election. The players that are involved in this election are bigger than Vegas. I know. Trump will not prosecute Hillary. People fell for that. I know. Well, he could be impeached by a Republican Congress, and believe me, Republicans, if they don't get their way real soon here, very likely could start impeachment processes. And they're more likely to impeach Trump than they are and get put Pence in. They're more likely, they might actually have to go to the Secretary of State, whoever that's going to be. Or the Speaker of the House, the Speaker of the House. Hey, you know, Paul Ryan wouldn't make a bad president. But if the Paul Ryan group do not deal directly with the problem, you know, the inability of him to talk about the Tea Party, the inability of him to cut spending, the inability of him to actually make any agreements on taxes that will help the average person in America, because Trump's tax plan is going to give the 1%ers a 44% tax deduction, or tax reduction. Estimates show 44% declining in the 1% tax on the 1%ers. All the people that have no need for tax breaks are going to get 44% tax breaks. You can give him a chance all you want, but I'm telling you, he just violated the Logan Act and our national security is at risk. Okay, first things first. Yeah, well, the inability of him to do anything substantive to advance the Republican directive, these will be sure signs that he may be doing something. We don't want to hear where you're living and who you banged just now. Some guy just said he moved to a certain address and banged his neighbor. He wrote the address here. I was like, what? Well, we've developed a new helicopter that flies from a handstand position. We just haven't figured out how to actually make money on it. Lots of violations going on tonight, I bet, yeah. I'm not sure exactly how many laws are being broken right now, but talking to Trump before he becomes president, without the President Obama's approval, and now all of this will go away if President Obama said that he's on board with Trump talking to Russia prior to getting elected. It's like, what? He has to, I told you, Trump is dangerously overweight, yeah, and he eats junk food. So I would recommend putting him on a strict diet of my food. Expired food from 1999. And I'll cook him whatever he wants in the White House while we work through his problems. I would love to be his body man. Then I could make sure that the Russians aren't controlling him. You know, anything I could do to just, give people a kind of the attention that they deserve. It is treason. Tell me about it. It's treason what he's trying to do. Talking to the Russians at this point, negotiating behind the scenes, Russia admitting it, it's a total treason. You can't stand looking at him? Really? I don't blame you. Let's talk about something else. The things that matter to me, like no GMO food, solving the problems facing the country, dealing with the beginnings of what appears to be the control of our military by artificial intelligence. Thank you for coming in to talk to me. I will now talk about how our country is modifying its military strategy, increasing spending on military, and ultimately ramping up for what will be the occupation of the United Nations forces in the United States, handled and controlled by yours truly, Mr. Bible, Donald Trump. Freaky. Where is that pimple coming from? What pimple you're talking about? Davidford Walkheim. All right. Well, we can talk about other things besides chemtrails and vaccines. And I want to bring up some issues that are important, like graphene. So let's talk about the things that make us better than Trump. Okay. Bringing our troops home. He's already committed ground troops in Syria and Iran, just like the New World Order asked. Creating new energy solutions that make us energy independent from any foreign oil, any foreign subsidies, even migrating to a genius grid, which is completely recoverable from a disaster, with these windmills on every single pole in America. This was a plan to revive jobs in America, and was I shocked that Hillary lost? No, I wanted Hillary to lose, but we've got a bigger problem on our hands now. The Trump connection to Russia. Trump's already promised Israel more war. Yeah, exactly. So you're going to be ramping up more war. You're going to see more troops activities in Syria. You're going to still see the ongoing troop activity in Iraq and in Afghanistan under Trump. It's going to go on. You weren't changing anything. Do you really think that voting like a bunch of sheep was going to get you any changes from the course you're on with the Barack Obama? Seriously. I mean, I've been pitching the third party for a long time, but I can tell you one thing. If you really think this is an easy decision, voting for somebody, then you better do some more work in the next election, because right now you, the voters, have led us to this place in American history. I also think that pro-legalization is a good move. So I would really urge Donald Trump right now to legalize marijuana across the board, recreational marijuana across the board. Not sit there and pretend like he's not going to do that and then go against states like Washington, Oregon, California, now Massachusetts and Maine. What are the other ones? Nevada? California? All these places that are legalizing it. I don't need permanent teeth. I'm using a press-on veneer. Press-on veneers offers a really good package. It's three-dimensional printed technology that gives you an immediate smile. And I had a problem because I needed to get a better smile to do the Obama impersonation. But Brighter Image Lab has produced so many smiles like mine that it's not even, look at that. That's the same smile I have. See? Now, you can get in on something like this if you go to pressonveneers.com. If you guys are suffering from, if you're suffering from what is called Mountain Dew-itis, where you've been drinking Mountain Dew for the past 6 years, you don't have any teeth left. You may want to consider this. It might improve your lifestyle. Just so you know. I'm not a representative of the company. We know that he's going to be problems. Yeah, there's problematic. I know Trump calmed his crap down and talked about working together. I know you guys are going to schmooze the White House. You go right ahead, play whatever game you want to play. We're just buying time. We're already 16 years into this problem with the corruption in our country. I mean, I could even say it's 50 years or 60 years since John F. Kennedy died. Going on 60 years. David, what about the people in jail for possession? Will they be set free? We don't know, Scissor Fight. I don't know. You see, I would have made a first order of business is legalizing marijuana and releasing all low-level marijuana possession charges. Every one of them who's had possession charges for marijuana only would be released immediately, given amnesty. All right. No, I didn't drop a tear at all. I knew I wasn't going to win. I did get concerned, though, for my safety, because I know that most of the credible threats I've had have been coming from the Trump supporters. That's why I asked Trump supporters to leave the room tonight, because they're not capable of handling this conversation. They don't even understand what I'm talking about. I think he will be irresponsible to the White House. I think we put a very greedy man in the White House. And that's why I'm urging for an impeachment process, based on the violation of the Logan Act. Well, I just see a person who steals ideas as a person not worthy of the job of president. We don't know how many votes I got because the system is rigged. I told you that. I mean, how many times do I have to tell you that? Well, Stern should turn his back on Trump. Frankly, I'm concerned. Trump basically walked himself into a conversation with Stern that revealed his groping nature. Now, I'm not calling Trump a groper, but I am saying that all those things he said on that Stern radio show they were absolutely bizarre. He saw his daughter as a piece of ass. He said so on TV or on radio on his radio show, Sirius radio show. He called his own daughter a piece of ass. Can you believe this? You just put a guy in the White House who walked into the Teen USA competition and said, "Don't bother me, it's nothing I haven't seen before," when he's entering the dressing room with the women naked. That's the guy you elected. What the hell were you thinking? Miley was crying on her channel, really? Now Miley loves him? Oh, okay. Zionists are not liberal, no, but they'll play the Marxist card if they have to. They'll work any angle they can. They'll work Marxism or fascism. Zionism have both of those things in their toolkit. I am calm. This is me calm. Look, I'm a marathon broadcaster. I've been doing this for 8 years. Nothing can stop me. You can't ruffle my feathers, don't worry. Even yesterday when I was completely out of the box, completely, I was unhinged. I still reeled myself in and we had a good show. The defeated left turned to hate. Liberals are unleashed beatings, death threats, and calls for mass murder of Trump supporters. We're seeing exactly what the Illuminati wanted, extreme division within the country because of the choices they've made. They handpicked an extremely left-wing, bisexual, married to a tranny for president before. Now they've got an extremely right-wing racist married to a woman who's absolutely, you know, she, with all due respect, she just doesn't seem like an American. She just doesn't. She's Russian. And on top of that, she's got a history of posing naked, you know, in magazines. I'm wondering if Trump is going to actually have her do a centerfold in the Oval Office and make some extra money for him. That was worthy of a rim shot, I thought. All right. You're proud to be poor, whatever. You just haven't figured it all out, Sam's dad. You're still running with a half deck. That's my opinion, but you can differ with me. Dude, I couldn't find anything about Mayor Duct. No, I'm the last Harvey Dent left? Thank you. I don't even know who Harvey Dent is. A rim shot for a rim shot. On top of another rim shot. We're going to pull a gaper on that one. School students have been changing Build That Wall to humiliate kids. There you have it. Oh, yeah. Build that wall. When he copied the 1,000-mile fence idea, I did the 1,000-mile part of that idea. The fence idea was talked about by many people prior, but I did the math on the 1,000 miles we needed. And when he said, we're going to build a wall, he had not even thought about how much construction value goes into a wall versus a fence. It's like, dude, have you ever laid brick in your life? And I'm not talking about your bowel movement this morning. Seriously, we got a lot of problems with a guy who's never actually gotten his fingers dirty. And he wants to build a wall. What a joke. And how is Mexico going to pay for it? And why would he destabilize relations with Mexico by having them pay for a wall in our country? Again, I can tell the Trump tards can't figure it out. Well, I don't know. Maybe Mexico should pay for it because they got a lot of money from the tomatoes I buy at the market. The fact is, the Mexican pot is funding drug cartels. By legalizing marijuana, we instantly remove the drug cartel money from all that chain of money that's just literally going into the hands of people with guns, basically. Now, according to Phys.org, the revolutionary product graphene could solve the water crisis. And it was precisely the reason why I'm dropping the ocean pipeline idea, which Trump stole. He can go ahead and try to build an ocean dome, but what I've got in mind is something more powerful and more portable. Water filters we can just literally hook up right to the ocean and start pumping water right into your tap directly. That's how great these filters are going to be. I want that, David. I do. I'm in California. I'm dehydrating. I want water, David. I know. A lot of you have to have like a spritz. Must be great sitting there with a shower with like a little bit of mist on you. It's like, yeah, you know, just lather up and have a little mist here. You didn't hear that? Yeah. It's true. He wants an ocean dome, Rupert. He's talked about it. That's how he got elected. All kinds of new ideas that were all harvested from our website. I'm not taking anybody's idea now. I'm merging ideas with technology and saying, hey, let's move forward. I'm promoting a revolutionary graphene filter that's made out of not graphene, mind you, but hemp. A revolutionary new hempoline filter. That's right. Hemp has the same qualities and is 1/10 the cost of graphene. You don't have to be anti-green to not like it. You like water? Dude, you like water? You like fresh water? Come on. You're digging yourself into a grave with your new president idea. Trump watches our show, you brainless idiot. We have proof that he and Eric communicated throughout the entire president run. He grabbed ideas every night from our show. It's like a little bit of mist on me, Dave. I love a good shower. And I'm working on a technology myself this year that will actually make you guys in California very happy. And I'll be introducing that new technology. I haven't talked about it, but I'll introduce that technology on our show once I've finished the prototype and secured the patent. Well, you are aware now. If you don't like chemtrails, I'm your guy. If chemtrails don't bother you, them spraying pesticides on you every day, industrial waste, barium, selenium, strontium, aluminum, you don't mind being sprayed with this stuff, not to mention vaccines, aerial vaccine sprays. My 1,000-mile fence idea was published in this video right here. This was posted in 2008. You can see the date on it, uploaded October of that year. Right before the election, this young man put this out there. He copied our video from our site. I've got the same video from that time period, but this is published October 26, 2008. You can go to the site right now and see all the ideas that Trump stole from me. Check it out. You'll be quite surprised. 10 minutes. Well, I don't think I was that young looking in that. That was 8 years ago. Anyway. Actually, Aristotle, I can just show you all the ideas were there. I can prove that he's had correspondence between Eric and himself. Somebody hacked into that correspondence, and we have copies of that. By the way, my salmon was harvested in 2012, I believe, or 2011. So I don't think it was quite as damaged as the current salmon population is. Yeah, it becomes their property, the video. Yeah. I'm not going to do the RFID thing, no. I refuse to have RFID chips in my head. It's bad enough just having 5 hours of sleep. But I live on 5 hours sleep and some coffee every day. There's some tricks at how do you hold back time. Rupert Murdoch was here. He fought me on every single issue. Seriously, it's been Dave's thing since the beginning, yeah. That and no more refugees in our country. Thank you, Rupert Murdoch, for coming back to the show. I never thought I'd be saying that, because you and I were at odds, because you're a hardcore Democrat, I believe. Although you may be changing now after this recent election. The head of the NSA is personally testing Boeing's new self-destructing smartphone, Samsung's, to sue for patent infringement. No kidding. Boeing's created a self-destructing smartphone that will wipe its entire memory clean. And the NSA is testing it. Samsung's having a hard time in the technology sector ever since the Note 7 started burning up. They canceled all the orders on Note 7s because the replacement battery burned up too. It's probably their operating system. It's probably blazingly fast, and they didn't realize that if you pull that much energy out of a lithium ion, it sets fire to it. Amazing. But anyway, Samsung is now going to be suing. Elite members of the U.S. military, including the head of the NSA, have started testing a super secure Boeing smartphone which can self-destruct. The black phone is designed to connect agents and contractors around the world with the U.S. government's top secret communications network. Lieutenant General Alan Lynn, the Defense Information Systems Agency co-developers, has revealed the NSA's Chief Admiral Michael Rogers was one of the first to test it. I hope it didn't burn in his pocket or something. Any attempt to break open the case of the device would trigger functions that would delete the data and software contained within the device and make the device inoperable. If only Hillary had this when she was, getting rid of all of her emails. That would have been very convenient. However, very little data is actually stored on the device. Instead, the black phone serves as a window to a government computer. Lynn told Defense One, there's nothing that lives on the devices. It's close to a virtual desktop infrastructure. The phone simply provides input commands such as a keyboard, mouse, and other signals to the top secret JWICS network. But the phone isn't confined to the government network. It comes equipped with dual SIM card, enabling users to switch between government and commercial networks. How to protect yourself online. 3-minute video. Wow. That's funny. I somehow thought this was related to Samsung suing. I guess Samsung isn't suing for this. My mistake. My bad. Oh, okay. That was a joke. Thank you. All right. It was a joke. I'm finally getting it. Got it. Thank you. 10-4. The name's James Bond. The name's Bond. James Bond. I got it. I didn't find it very funny. I take exploding phones pretty seriously. So much so that I don't even wear or have a phone on me. Nor do I have a chipset inside of me. I don't have any kind of an RFID chip in my body, believe it or not. Yeah, let's break out a dance. What do you say? I can do some karate moves. It's time. Okay, let's do it. Thank you for reminding me about the Can't Stop song, which usually comes on right around now. Get Pitted? Oh, okay. We want to do Get Pitted or Can't Stop? Or Hawaii Five-0?
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop,
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, since both were David Sponheim.
I'm David John Sponheim. I'm running for president as a write-in candidate.
for president.
Let's crank it.
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop.
In this coming election, vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop.
All right, yeah, that was fun. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't play the full sound early on. It was kind of, I gypped you out there. All right, so we got a lot of people who just don't understand that this is a brand new era in which this will be the guy at the front door asking you for your ID. Excuse me, ma'am. I'd like to know if you and your household could present their birth certificates right away. We suspect that there are Muslims living here. Yes. It won't be long before that happens. All right, so let's talk about the world under Donald Trump. Yes, we will be seeing more riot gear because obviously he's a divider and he's going to be starting riots. simply because he pissed people off all over the place. We're going to see a lot more people like this dressed with headgear in your area, SWAT teams. That's what you guys wanted. That's what you're going to get, a greater police state. No, Rupert Murdoch is the real deal here. He's not in any way he's the real guy. Well, you're a proud Trump supporter. We want you gone. Yeah, go away. I love that Volkswagen camper paste up that Scissor Fight found, and he did the paste up on it. So, right. So, are you going to report your Muslim neighbors? Maybe you'll be considered Muslim. Maybe your skin will be brown. The Koch brothers, or the former mayor of New York City. I mean, Ed Koch. Your decision. The Koch brothers? All right. Well, you can find it curious, but Rupert Murdoch dates back to our 2008 show. Nick, we don't know. The system is rigged. It was completely rigged. Even Donald Trump didn't win the popular vote, just to know. They want to divide the country, so I'm going to make them a very happy guy because I'm asking to impeach Trump right now for the simple basis that he violated the Logan Act by talking to Russia prior to the election. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the new police state, the United States of corporate control. I'll be your host tonight, David Sponheim. We'll be talking about how the military junta will form the cyber state through artificial intelligence means and robotics means that will control your every move and make you into a veritable vegetable in a society of fruits. Nick, I do. I really believe I'll be president someday, and that's been a good question all along. And do you know how Salvador's doing? Is he okay? Are you still in touch with your student? Rupert Murdoch is a teacher. All right, so thank you. Where do we go from here? We keep building the third party. I told you that. I'm in no way trying to scare the crap out of you. That was some election, yeah, wasn't it? It's going to be at Hamilton tonight? Okay, so you are in touch with them. Wow, cool. Well, tell you guys that, I'm still working on it. I'm still, the nice thing is you can't see it from our show. But, the number count doesn't show the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that watch our show. I want you to know that I have broken through the media, but it's the worldwide media. You can tell that to Salvador Dali. We are now viewed by millions of people around the world. Yes, millions. Vaughn is censoring us and limiting the number of people that come in here. So, no, we don't have secret third-party meetings. These are things going on every day in their show. You can always come in and talk politics with us. They can't handle millions. That's why they're toggling it down. But they also may be working for the Trump campaign. We don't know yet. But they have been censoring us heavily. We could get numbers like news and views, but we've never been allowed to do that. We know that millions of people want to get in here because they see these VIP capacity server messages all the time and they can't break in. Salvador Dali and Rupert Murdoch were the two people that used to argue with me all the time on our show in 2008, 2009, and 2010.
They're huge Obama supporters.
They were huge Obama supporters, yeah. That's I don't know if they've changed, but please don't submit any crap here. Yeah, I don't want to have any crap from Trump. But thank you, though.
Hello, Mystify Me.
Sarah's
Hello,
here.
Everybody. How are you?
Now, today, Sarah, I want to bring you up to speed what happened. Check this out. Moscow themselves, this is from the Washington Post, Moscow has stated, Moscow had contacts with Trump team during the campaign, according to a Russian diplomat. This is a gross violation of the Logan Act. We are not allowed to communicate with Russia prior to an election in which the president has the authority to communicate with Russia. So in lieu of that, unless Donald Trump had Barack Obama's written approval to let Moscow in to his campaign, he is a classic example of violating the Logan Act. which is an impeachable defense. It's an offense that could take his presidency down. My argument, we have to build a fence, not a wall, and he'll never build a wall. He can't possibly. It's impossible. That's not the Salvador Dali we're talking about. Thanks, Agent 358. He's one of Trump's friends. He's paid to be in here.
Oh, okay.
He's a KGB guy working for Russia. He's working for the FSB, I believe. Agent 358 is Meow TV, everybody. Just so you know. I figured it out, Meow TV. It's okay. Libtard media lies. You're not for Hillary, lol, either. Okay, no, I'm not. I'm not for Hillary. Never was. Just because I told you Hillary actually won the popular vote. Anyway, I'm going to go upload that video right now.
You're Russia Today?
He's Russia Today? Okay.
Agent 358?
Okay.
Is that what you mean by RT?
He's a Russia Today officer? Okay. Or he's a journalist from RT.
We're trying to make an article. Russia Today is trying to make an article about David, but it's not easy because David sometimes bans you. No, just kidding.
All right.
All right, so welcome. If you're from Russia Today, welcome. This is David Sponheim. He has been running for president since 2008. He decided to run for president when before that, he would always complain about the president. Especially George W. Bush at the time.
Especially, yeah.
David would wake up every morning complaining about the president.
Yep.
And then I told David, I said, well, if you don't like the president, why don't you do something about it?
Yeah.
You watched all the videos, you don't need anything. Why is it difficult to make an article about David or a video?
Well, he's having a personal problem. Because I'm so strong against Russia. I mean, I really respect Vladimir Putin, but in no way do I think that he is going to be a good person to have controlled interest in the Trump enterprise. Trump has got to put his stuff into a public trust, not a private blind trust, in order to become president. We're going to have to hold him accountable for all of his finances because our national security is at risk if Putin has financial control over any operation involving Trump.
Thank you, the NSA, for your cooperation.
I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again.
Oh man, I hate to go.
My viewer count is off by a factor of 100. We've got over 72,000. Thanks for your cooperation. Thanks, NSA. At least our viewer count on this channel, and that does not include the UHF channels that are rebroadcasting us, is not correct. Thank you, NSA. Then you know I'm being censored. Bon bon.
So, it wasn't, unless Obama authorized it, it wasn't Trump's job to prevent World War III and end the Cold War at that time. It was Obama's job. And it still is until January 20th.
I disagree. Since the presidential candidate has above top security clearance, the Logan Act does not apply. The Logan Act applies to everybody who is not working for the Obama administration. Therefore, Obama would have had to sign on to him getting information from Putin early on in the candidacy. You got to understand the Logan Act has specific purposes. Welcome, Highbury. The Logan Act's designed specifically to stop people running for president getting inside information from foreign governments and working on their side. No, this is a classic violation of the Logan Act. In fact, the very purpose of the Logan Act was to prevent a breach of our national security. I'm just telling you. So, in the very essence of the Logan Act, this guy has violated it. And he wasn't that status prior to becoming the president. And if he was in touch with Putin, which he says he was in clear violation of the Logan Act, which predates his top security clearance. But you have a good point. Thank you. I'll be back. I'm going to upload that video.
Flight of the Starlings is pretty amazing. Thank you. I'm glad you like my look tonight. Well, that is a possibility. Oh, that's amazing. I love watching starlings. They are very beautiful. They're all Caesar under different accounts, 250. Thank you for tracking that. Make sure you keep all of your records so that you can give it to the FBI at some point. I'd rather not say hi, Barry. At one point, I admired him, but I no longer do. How about that, hi, Barry? Could have, should have, would have. Let's not live in the past, 892. Let's move on. What do I mean? Well, I watch the Apprentice shows. I'll say that. Third party, that's David's. David is chatting from the other room. It's Thursday night, so David will. Well, David is arguing that he violated federal law. 333. Well, how do you feel about your voice? What do you think your voice means, 278? I don't really think so, Charles. Whatever you like is good. How long did it take me to braid my hair? About less than 5 minutes on each side. Wow. Okay, I hope David got this one, because otherwise I have to show David that I'm... Alright. They said the wall isn't going to happen, period. Who is they? Actually, that's where the Logan Act does apply. The Logan Act applies to citizens who try to negotiate on behalf of the United States without being endorsed to do so by the president. Wouldn't it be Sarah? First Lady? I don't know what my Secret Service code... Oh, Wonder Woman. That would be my Secret Service code name. Wonder is on her way. I just shorten it to Wonder.
Let's click on that link that came in the room, that image link.
Okay, what are you saying?
Right there, just click on it. I want to grab that and show it to people later. It's just interesting. Thank you.
Yes. What do you mean, hi, Barry? Hi, Barry. How are you? You, really, hey? I guess we'd have to go and count all the votes. Well, you can take my picture and put it there if you wish, 187. Well, you can start building at 333. I believe in a fence. Not necessarily a wall, but a fence, and really a lethal electric fence. Yeah, maybe it is because you lost touch, buddy. Hopefully you can get back in touch. Bookmark our page. David will continue to do the show. Maybe it's just because it's been like a long week. Maybe that's why I don't have as much energy. 187, that's just not nice. You know, go say that somewhere else. Well, 209, David would say, we need to work harder to help David get on the ballot. Well, we need to also make sure whatever we build along the southern border that we check the ground and make sure that there's no tunnels being built. Thanks, Beavis. Yes, I do. I'm so glad it's Veterans Day tomorrow. Thank you to all of the veterans. If you're a veteran out there, thank you. Yes, a lethal electric fence can be built quickly. Whereas if you're talking about some kind of brick wall or some kind of wall, it can take a long, long time to build. Thanks, Dirk. Yeah, I understand, Highbury, but I would say that we will still have locations where people can go. So David has it going from, I'll tell you David's times and I'll tell you my times. And mine sometimes change. But David is doing the show now. I don't know if he'll drop off Saturday. David's doing the show Monday through Saturday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time. And actually his 9 p.m. ends up being more like 10 p.m. And then I try to give David a break around 6:30 Pacific time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, and then another break around 8 p.m. Pacific time. So I try to be on for like 20 minutes to a half hour at those times. Today I didn't because I was preparing for Veterans Day. No, Bengalitis, because David said he is going to wait until he's president to propose to me. I am in Washington State. Well, 585, the thing that Dave is upset about the positions that are similar. Never mind. Well, I understand your perspective, Sammy's dad. Yep, on to 2020. Thank you. I'm glad you like that hair, chat room celebrity. Yes, exactly. That's true. David never quits early. All right, take care, Rupert. You got it. You got the dates. You got the times. Why do you care about their personal life? About my personal life or what? Ha ha ha, 525. I do have a ring already. Not when it's braids. It doesn't work. Yes. It is about doing it for the country, which is what David will do. If California declared a secession with the U.S., would Washington join them? I don't think so, unless Trump turns out really even more horrible than I imagine. Then maybe. Yeah, I think Phil Flanagan, David would agree with that statement that the New World Order would go into effect go into power and effect way faster with Trump. You're a police officer 739? Okay, that's pretty funny, Phil. Oh, gross, 836, no. Actually, I haven't looked at any of them, Bengalitis. Is there any, so David would think, anyway, never mind. Well, thank you for your service, 739. One thing I'll say to you, since I believe this for our police officers, and I would, I just want to encourage police officers of all types to, if there's ever a moment where you're not actively engaged in a case, spend some time building positive relationships with your community, especially the communities that where you have more incidents than others. Take cookies to places where you know that there's going to be problems in the future. Take them pre-bought from the store or something like that. I really believe that oftentimes police officers get there's a lot of negative that people have associated with officers, only because the only time that they interact with them is when the people are in their most stressed out self. And so then they don't, and then if the tension's already high and things go downhill, then they don't have a positive interaction. And there's really great information that a thing called Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports, PBIS, says there's this research about relationships, and it was by this guy named Dr. John Gotten. You guys, I believe that's his name. You can go check it out, but it's about, he says that he can tell when he can look at a couple for 15 minutes and within 15 minutes determine whether that couple will divorce in a certain number of years. And he can determine that with over 90% accuracy. And all he looks for is positive to negative interactions. And so I want to encourage police officers to have more positive interactions with our community, so that then if there's a negative encounter, that they will back up onto the positive ones. Sarah, do you think you can stop talking for 10 minutes? Yes, I'm usually a very quiet person, except when I'm on camera, I'm not quiet, because David says, you can't have any dead space, you can't have any quiet on camera, so you have to totally be talking all the time on camera. So while I'm on camera and David's not on camera talking, then I'm not quiet. But if David's on camera talking, you'll see me sit there for 10 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes, and I won't say a word because David's filling up the airtime. I grew up in a very religious family. Some of them are now religious that weren't religious when I was growing up, and some of them are now not religious that were religious when I was growing up. I read the first 5 books of the Bible. I like to believe that every new discovery in science is a further revelation of God. So I do believe those kinds of things. Oh, what? Sammy said? Oh, is that it? Well, the thing is that you can actually have me silent for 10 minutes or whatever you need by using the mute button on your computer. Most laptops have a mute button, or turn down your speakers or unplug them. That's pretty simple. Well, this is an homage to the Native Americans, my braids. It's true. because it's Veterans Day, and I also want to take, when I remember all the people that serve our country, I also want to remember the natives that were here before the European infiltration. So I just, yes, a little homage. All right. So 739, the police officer left, but hopefully you got my message, because I do strongly believe in that. I believe strongly in, the thing is that so many people, yes, 624, it's true. So many people don't say, hey, you're doing such a good job. And I want to say that right now to all the people that get up and go to work every day for us. Thank you. You're doing such a good job. Thank you to the veterans especially. But just being able to get up and do what you do to make our country a better place, to make our world a better place. Every single day, it's a little positive influences that you have. And I really appreciate, coming in here and talking to me is actually a positive influence on me. So coming in and saying, hi, Sarah, that makes me feel good. And so I really appreciate those little things. Thank you, 910. 959, it doesn't matter what other people say, the banter going back and forth. Because then David thinks you're talking about him and not talking about another user when I saw it. Anyway. Yes. You feel like this? Like you've been censored? Like, is that what it is? You've been censored or what? Or like you're just sad and tired? What does that represent? Use your words. Thanks, Zygmunt. See, I didn't even know you were here, Zygmunt, and you were listening to me. Well, I'm not HIGH. I'm not ever that, because I don't do any mind-altering things. Chocolate, does that count? I do eat chocolate, I have to say. All right. Yes. Are you German? Welcome. All right. Sarah, what makes you think anyone who is not the Caesar wants accused? Right, I don't think anyone wants to be accused of anything. Sarah, I missed it. Sarah, are you with the movement to make America great again? No, I'm with the idea that we have awesome Americans already. And I'm saying I'm with the movement to appreciate what we have. And if we start to appreciate and say thank you to what we have, then I believe our dollar and our value will appreciate and increase. Will not depreciate. What's disrupting the chat, 544? Well, the thing is, you can just click on their name and click ignore. I don't know if guests have that capability, but I personally just don't read chat that's disrupting to the chat. Anyway, that's it. Well, he might boss you around, Bangalitis, but do you think really he's gonna boss me around? Let's think about that for a moment. I think David is a very sexy guy. That's what I think. Happy Veterans Day, Mad Dog. Awesome. Wow, a picture of Mad Dog in the Navy. Nice. All right. David and I have been together since the turn of the century. right. Oh, you want Sponheim Dupster in 2020 or 2016? 3, 8, 9. I'm confused. I already have a ring on it. Yes, Hillary did win the popular vote. That's what I heard from David. And that's what David just typed. So, David's definitely checking on his show. And thank you for meeting people. Yeah, well, it's never going to break up. I am committed to being with David together forever. You know, that's it. It's never, David and I are never going to be apart. What do I think of the protests? I haven't been following them to be... I just haven't been following them. I believe in promoting people that are positive. Actually, if you only had people in California because of the Electoral College, that wouldn't work. I was talking to David earlier about that and said that, you know, because of the Electoral College, if you took the number of electors that are in California and the number of electors that are in Nebraska, of course, somewhere like Nebraska has a whole lot less electors because there's more people in California. But if you took it and took the population divided by the electors, you would have a lot less representation in the Electoral College for someone like California. Yeah, good question, Zygmunt. How long before Trump bankrupts the country like everything else that he has ever had his hands on? I give it 2 years. You know, we already had the Depression in 2008, so I do think we should celebrate greatness. That's a good idea. No, let's not talk about those kinds of things, Zygmunt, and lawfulness in America has dawned. It's not lawful unless people get their say in court. You saw $5 trillion to implement Trump's programs. Unless he starts to let the people know that money is just an illusion and starts printing it out of thin air, I don't see that happening. Really, Aladdin? Riverside all turned red? Wow. I used to live down there. That's David's belief that he should be impeached because David believes he violated the Logan Act. The age of the thug is over? What do you mean by that? Who is the thug? I agree with Zygmunt. Oh, Sheriff Joe Arpaio lost his re-election campaign? Is that who you mean by Sheriff Joe? Okay. How did Trump win? There are 24 theories. Thousands protest Trump in rallies across the U.S. Donald Trump's proposed cabinet would bring some fringe figures in from the cold. And Trump is blasting media for inciting protests. Leonard Cohen passed away. He was a singer, songwriter, master poet. Kaine, Hillary's VP nominee, he claimed this isn't time to give up. LinkedIn access is going to be blocked in Russia after the social network failed to move personal data storage to Russia. Wow. Trump is on Twitter taking on protesters. And the UAW is trying to dismantle NAFTA. Chinese fans are blaming Hillary Clinton's loss for a canceled Katy Perry performance. Thank you, Potato Girl. Yeah, I don't think people should be destroying property. Oh, Will Smith's dad passed away. In Mosul, Amnesty International has accused men in Iraqi police uniforms of torture and unlawfully killing villagers in cold blood. Wow. Katy Perry, Sammy Zat. All right. Well, we'll see what happens, Willie Pickles.
You know, I have never heard this computer actually overheat. The technology is so perfected. Laptops, this computer is our gaming computer, our technology that we just got. And it's got an incredible thing, and you may want to look for this when you buy a laptop, is both the fans in the back. See those two fans? They are the best thing a laptop can ever have. They avoid the burnout. When they put the laptop battery fans at the bottom, most of them end up burning the motherboard, overheating the motherboard and melting it. It happens with HPs and Dells. Anyway, when looking for a new laptop, consider back fans. Seriously, it's a huge difference. We've gone through 3 laptops already to get to this one.
I burned them all out.
Well, anybody would have burned them out. It wasn't just you. I mean, I was burning them out.
Well, we were broadcasting on a laptop, which is why I finally got a PC.
Yeah. And that PC rocks, man.
And this PC does rock.
I can't get over how it works so well. We were so blessed when we bought those. You know, we spent less than $600, less than the cost of an iPad, on the technology we're using in our show. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. Now this one is $1,000. We just added that. But prior to that, it was like amazing. Okay. And I'm running Ethernet Direct on both computers. We try to minimize our Wi-Fi connections as much as possible. Thank you for coming in, everybody. We're still reeling from this election. I think the riots have quieted down around the country.
So yeah, I guess you must have turned off guest chat, right?
Yeah, I turned it off in the other room. You're welcome to start it up again.
Okay. I don't think.
I was quite offended by the things they were saying to you. They were like not showing you any respect, and I want to maintain respect for our effort, considering how long it's been going on. You know?
Yeah. Trump's victory is causing Europe to rethink its security. The surprise triumph is raising fears of historic recalibration between the United States and its allies in Europe. threatening to upend the allegiances that have become the cornerstone of post-World War II peace.
What's that? Which one is that?
How Trump's victory is causing Europe to rethink its security.
Yeah, Russia in the close backdoor proximity. Do you see what's happening is we're losing our balance with NATO. And
Sammy, I think I'm going to have to mute that, or at least purge that, because I don't encourage any kind of that violence.
Right.
Okay, good night, Blue Raven. Thanks for casting.
Awesome, Sarah. Thanks for giving us support tonight. I appreciate
night,
it.
everyone.
It really helps. Thank you. Sarah gave me a good backup that I needed. And by the way, there is the salmon loaf in the refrigerator. If you pull out the whole plate and just take the plate off, you cut yourself a slice and zap it for a minute.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. If you guys want to see the cooking show tonight, it is available at my personal website, youtube.com/DavidJohnSponheim. And you can check it out there. Yeah. And today I did a salmon loaf, a $2 salmon loaf, for 4 people. I mean, talk about conserving on food, and you can store this kind of food in your cupboard. It's not that difficult. So, let's switch gears here. Welcome to the new renewable energy, green clean technology, environmental future of America's Third Party. I'll be your host tonight, David Sponheim. Let's go. We're moving forward trying to develop new and intriguing enterprises that will help compete in the world market, bolstering the value of our dollar, as opposed to the cash over the barrel credit junkie Donald Trump, who simply borrows money and pads his pocket and gives it to his friends. That's what I predict his candidacy will be all about. And that's not good. So green technologies will start with the hempeline, and I will legalize marijuana. Donald has not made any overtures to this. I'm already ready for the 2020 election, everybody. Let's get started. We shed some of our old ideas. I'm losing the ocean pipeline and replacing it with graphene filters and hempeline filters. A brand new form of hemp has been discovered that filters silver, or rather salt, out of water. It's very similar to what you see with silver-activated carbon filters now. We're also going to replace the mobile medical units with a robust public option. So, as much as I love the mobile medical units, I'm changing the title to mobile service units. I'm still going with the idea of providing a mobile service unit for every single person in 10 cities around the country. And I'm going to create this new concept for our show. I'm going to add it to our list of things we talk about. So the mobile medical units of the past will be converted to the mobile service units of the future. Mobile medical units, I believe, with pharmaceuticals was a throwaway idea. I'm glad that Donald Trump stole it, because I want to see what he does with it. It's going to be interesting. And as far as the ocean pipeline is concerned, like I said, water filtration is the way to go. Entering the new dimension. Entering the dimension of the future. Mr. Anderson. I don't even acknowledge him as president. He's not my president, and I'm building this movement against him as a legitimate president. So there you have it. I want to impeach Donald Trump just like I wanted to impeach Obama. Both parties are rotten to the core. Now, Trump has already said this rigged election. Now, Trump has put out a number of people, I think 60 names, one of which is Rudy Giuliani for commerce. Possibilities there, along with his friend Chris Christie, who's currently encountering Bridgegate, needs to get a fast exit out of the governorship for New Jersey. He wants to put him, of all people, in charge of the Department of Homeland Security. Are you serious? Chris Christie. in charge of the Department of Homeland Security. So what I'm getting here is exactly what our worst fears are coming to play here. We are looking at the Trump administration being comprised of all of his crony friends, which is really scary. I mean, he's even pulling Jim Talon out of retirement. You know, the guy that got you the big pharma industry? Remember Trump said he was not going to be, forcing vaccines on anybody at the debates because he had to take a stand on it? Well, he'll squirm out of that with Jim Talent, because Jim Talent was the #1 guy who put out the vaccine industry with Barack Obama. So he'd be working on the backside of Trump's administration. Now remember, Trump's really good at bankrupting corporations. So he's going to be working rather quickly to bankrupt our country and turn us into a debtor nation to countries like Russia, who are already at our back door making contact with the Trump administration. Moscow had contacts with Trump during the campaign. This is a clear breach of the Logan Act. And this guy is right up to exactly what the New World Order wants him. It is crazy. I agree, Trump-tard. We are walking ourselves right into our country being taken over by Russia because basically Trump is a monetarist. He doesn't care what country he's representing as long as he makes money. These are the worst possible people I warned you about in the previous years. I've been talking about this. I can't make it any clearer. You're choosing a greedy person who's got contacts with Russia throughout the campaign, who has strings attached to his finances all over the place. You're putting him in charge of the greatest nation of the free world. And you don't think we're going to become like Russia? Folks, you signed your death warrant and the future of your children's death warrant and the freedom of this country you signed away when you voted for Trump. If you're that stupid, I don't think Rudy's going to prosecute him, Willie. No. I doubt seriously if Hillary's going to face trial. I would be surprised. No, the American people wanted pot. I'm just going to ban you. You're not really worth being here. Bye. The American people wanted pot. They didn't want Trump. Trump was the least of the two evils in their mind because Hillary was so bad. The reason the people were forced into this is no different than an animal, a farm animal, being forced into a slaughterhouse. It's the same thing. They voted for the lesser of the two evils. They chose the left door or the right door. It didn't matter. Led into the slaughterhouse. Well, anyway. Yeah, really. Well, we knew that it would take a weird turn. We knew that with Hillary it was going to be corporate control through the powers of the elitists on the left, the Marxist embracing Bergstrom family and the Rothschilds, the people that run the world. We knew that that was going to happen. This way we've got the Russian mobsters, the eastern branch of the Illuminati, taking over our country instead. I think it's almost worse. But either way, you're going to get screwed. All right, so Trump doesn't have any new ideas. We got a concept that we pitch on our show, and we'll be continuing to pitch on our show because we wrote a book about it. And it's called Hybrid Capitalism, and it's the way to generate new and improved solutions for our environment. Now, I will be relying on innovation to fix global climate change. Trump won't even acknowledge global climate change exists. We'll be working on a real solid strategy to get fresh water to California that won't involve an ocean pipeline anymore. The great idea was great for 10 years. It still could be implemented, but it's not necessary because it's going to take too long to get critical water supplies to people. I'm moving in a different direction. I'm moving toward a type of graphene filter that's very affordable. And I'm just in the process of researching the development of this new filter system. But it will get rid of the salt from salt water and create fresh water for everybody. Renewable energy savings bonds are at the heart of our investment strategy for the development of new technologies. And it will be coupled with the infrastructure bank that is, again, my idea, not Trump's. Trump doesn't have an infrastructure bank idea, luckily. I haven't heard it yet, but I'm sure he's going to roll out with one after he watches this show. I have a feeling Trump's going to be watching our show as he's trying to run the country. Because he's been watching our show up to this point, we know, just to get the ideas necessary to beat everybody in the competition. I do believe solar highways could be successful. Lena? Yeah, the whole idea. Let's take a look at a video about solar highways. The cost up front, it will be kind of huge. But if we mass produce some sort of a layer that can go on top of the asphalt, the macadam when it's being laid, and connect circuitry to it, once we streamline that idea, I think we're looking at a real win-win possibility. But let me show you guys what solar roads are all about, because it's fairly new technology. And I really am excited about it, but it is front heavy. The costs are expensive. Solar has a lot of applications. We really do embrace solar. In fact, part of the hybrid capitalist solution. Thank you, Dave and Sarah. Thanks a lot, Potato Girl. Part of the hybrid capitalist solution was to create solar rooftops for the American people. And I would be remiss in not talking about that tonight in general, because it is the basis of our new development plan for the country. Trump doesn't have this plan, and Hillary started talking about solar rooftops in the end of her presidency, or the end of her run for the presidency, which she will never acquire. But this concept is rock solid. Trump hasn't put his fingers on it because he's got too many cronies that want to capitalize on America. Hybrid capitalism doesn't do that. Hybrid capitalism gives our country the ability to get a return on investment and run on its own accord without your taxes. It's a brilliant concept, I believe. And frankly, I don't need to mail a copy of it to the White House. I'm sure he's already read portions of it. They won't get their fingers doing this. A lot of these people on the take will never, ever create a democratically socialist solution. And I'm not calling hybrid capitalism socialism, but people do. The difference between hybrid capitalism and socialism is socialism requires the working man to finance the non-working man. Hybrid capitalism actually gets the government to run as a business efficiently, using the resources that it creates, like generic medicine. We're keeping that concept. Producing a 24/7 anti-cancer cure team, too. We've got that bundled with our idea. Offering a public option where you guys pay a little bit, like $60 a month, and I was talking to a person last night that we could possibly get the public option down to $40 a month, which is even better and more tenable, and a larger group of people could be brought in. He's actually going to write me an email. He's very excited. He's a doctor. His name is Dr. Ryan, working out of Oklahoma. And he's really excited about a public option. So I'm really embracing that. Trump doesn't have a public option. He's got the universal health care plan, which will cost you, the taxpayer, a ton of money. Yeah, Jimmy Carter spent a lot of money on the solar panels when he put him in the White House. And then Ronald Reagan said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down those solar panels. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Jimmy Carter. Hey, why did Ronald Reagan tear him down? We don't know. He had this guy named Watts as his Secretary of the Interior. Horrible. Got rid of all kinds of standards that were in place to save the country and preserve the environment. We lost a lot with Ronald Reagan. I voted for Jimmy Carter that year, by the way. Anyway, we're talking about renewable energy savings bonds. Way better than anything that Trump can come up with. So these are all my original ideas, and I'm really excited about them. Like I said, getting rid of the mobile medical unit, the seawater pipeline as our core, it's still going to be on our website. We can still go back to those ideas. I'm not ruling them out. But I'm not going to be pushing them for the next cycle. We're going to make sure that people have robust public doctors and nonprofit hospitals and public hospitals so anybody can get really low-cost services. We'll be hiring more people. I would be open to hiring doctors from Cuba who have basic English skills. Yeah, Reagan was the beginning of the New World Order, I think. That's right when, at the end of his presidency, they actually constructed or during his presidency, they constructed the Georgia Guidestones, which is a template for what these people want to do for the future that involves depopulation. We talked about that on Monday. Yeah, I'm not getting rid of the $400 a month deal, too. Thank you very much for that. Meta-nemesis. Thank you for reminding me. So, this idea is going forward, And I think it was the best part of our campaign up until this time. When we started with the campaign, when hybrid capitalism was first written, we didn't have a number to give people. And one of the things I got out of this, there you go. Ed said now that Donald Trump has become elected, his primary residence, the Trump Tower in Midtown, has effectively become a national security site. Exactly. There you go. He should secure his location. I think it's smart to do that. Yeah, on a general basis. Yeah. Until January 21st, yeah. Gold is up to $12.59. Silver is making a move to $18.50. And the Dow Jones is soaring at 18,807 on response to hope springs eternal, you know. The idea that Trump's going to make America great again. Hey, if he can sell the country on that, I'm not against making America great again. But I don't think it's never lost its greatness. That's where I differ from all of you people. They said, do you want to make America great again? Well, actually, no, I don't think it lost its greatness. So when you see me taking people down, muting people saying that, number one, it was Ronald Reagan's statement that he used, make America great again. It was the concept that he presented. Trump just stole that idea from Ronald Reagan. You can look it up. Ronald Reagan had make America great again signs and everything. Anyway, I don't want to say that America isn't great, and I really believe that's embedded in that statement. So I'm not against making America great because I think we are great. I'm just against people saying that statement over and over again because it implies we're not great. All right, thank you. Now, $400 a month was the number we developed. We gleaned from our study of the budget, and we put this out there per U.S. citizen. And it has to be adult citizen because I can't pay kids under 18. But when you become an adult, when I become president, we will have the opportunity for you guys to get $400 per month into your pockets. All you have to do is present a birth certificate once and you're on the system. If you drop out of the system and not pick up any of that money in 3 months, and we explained that you have to use the card within 3 months, just not 3 months. Yes, 3 months, I'm sorry. Then we will automatically take the funds away from whatever's in your card. It's a way of cleaning the funds so we don't have people just sitting there not collecting any money. So if you're using the card once within a 3-month period, just like the EBT system currently is today, you'll be able to keep the money in there. So you could accrue money in there or just keep pulling money out and putting it in a separate bank account. It doesn't matter. We're not going to have any restrictions on this. And we won't be sending you check letters like we do welfare right now. Welfare people, recipients, and food stamp recipients right now get letters in the mail to verify everything, and they have to write affidavits. So that's staying, for sure. Thank you for reminding me, Metanemesis. Appreciate it, man. Okay, let's move over here. Dude, that's kind of a cool color. So yeah, it's a good color match. $400 per month per U.S. adult citizen. Now, Ed gets $770 a month right now. Dave, comment on Trump's age. He's too old. Yeah, he's too old. Definitely. No question about it. I mean, he's 70 years old, and he really, he was so tired the other day that he actually had a situation where I think it all kind of settled in on him, and he was like, oh my goodness. See, when you run as a joke, run for president as a joke, and now you're stuck here for the next 4 years, this is what happens. So, the weight of and the ominous weight of what he's doing now is going to settle in on him. And, I don't know if he's capable of handling it. He's got a lot of personal problems that are going to be managed by his sons in a blind trust, they said, but I don't think that's good enough. Scientists are developing a new type of HIV test on a USB stick. Really? That is amazing. Here's some new technology for you. So yes, thanks for reminding me. I'm going to keep that $400 on the screen all the time, because that's a really big incentive to get behind this movement. I even talked about increasing it for the next cycle, but we'll talk about that depending on the cost of living increases. I don't have a solar roof. I'm trying to shed myself of any burdens and responsibilities. I would rather have a more portable setup where I don't even need a house to live in. I would rather just live underneath a solar panel. But making a solar roof investment is about right now, if you're living in America, it's on average $30,000 to $40,000 per rooftop. So you've been increased from $733 to $735 monthly? Okay, Ed. Thanks for sharing. No, I've got solar setups, but I don't have a solar rooftop. It is expensive. And I can't draw that much more out of this house if I were to sell it. Even if I had a solar rooftop, it wouldn't really make a difference. So it becomes a real trade-off if you're not going to get your money back right away or over a long period. What we do is zone heating in our winter time, so we keep our energy bill right around 100 to 150. Whereas if we ran central heat, it would be about 400 to 500 a month. That's just one of the ways we can save on costs. David, I not long ago had the local police knock on your motel room door a few moments ago. What happened, Ed? What's going on? Is there something going on in your motel that you're in? Ed does a motel a couple times during the month just to take a shower. He's still homeless, receiving his money. He's trying to make the best of it. Oh, it's a weird odor, a weed odor, and they knocked at my door. Wow. Are you smoking weed? Did you legalize it in your mind in D.C.? I think it is legal in D.C., isn't it? Jim Baker, he sells solar generators, but he asks between $2,000 and $7,000 for them. Yeah, I know. And they're kind of a ripoff. What I did, and I recommend doing this to anybody who's out there just wanting to get a survival setup, is I bought 100 watts worth of panels. I bought 10 watt panels. And I spent about $200. $2 per watt is not that bad. But if you buy a big panel and you're going for $1 a watt, that's a really good expense to spend. If you find a solar panel for $1 a watt, so you got a 100 watt panel for $100, buy it. And then while you're at it, get a solar power inverter that will convert it so that you can get AC power out of the DC. So you can charge up batteries and put DC in the batteries, and it pulls out a plug so you can plug something in like an appliance. That's all you really need. So, if you want a survival system, and that wouldn't cost you more than $200 to $300, depending on where you shop around. Yeah, I support the 14th Amendment, and so does Donald Trump. So we're going to have to immediately move toward election law reform if Trump wants to get on board with that. And I know that he did offer term limits, and he better get his party onto the idea of term limits rather quick, because that was a huge offer that if he reneges on it, it means he's flipping on yet another thing that he came out with. The powers that be don't want term limits. They don't want a limitation on how many times a person can be a senator or a congressman. But he definitely went in favor of term limits, which was my idea. He used that, another one of our ideas. Early on in our campaign, we kept pushing for term limits. This guy better make true on it, because I am in support of all the issues that Trump has copied me on. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I would love to see a solar water pipeline, but it's a throwaway concept for 2020. We don't have enough time for that anymore. That was something that would have been great in 2012. We are beyond that now. We're going to have to aggressively filter water, not some slow process. So I'm glad he kind of stole the idea and created his ocean dome idea just to catch people's eyes, because now he's got to fulfill it. Almost every one of the ideas he grabbed was almost a choke point for his campaign. He won't be able to administer properly trying to do those things. He's just going to fall flat on his face. But that's why I threw those ideas out there, knowing full well someone would co-opt them. Even though I still believe in the principle behind them, they're not front forward in our campaign anymore. They'll be on our old site. All right. This is it. So this is like a microchip installed. In London, scientists in Britain have developed a type of HIV test using a USB stick that can give a fast, highly accurate reading of how much virus is in a patient's blood. The device created by scientists at Imperial College in London and the privately held US firm DNA Electronics uses a drop of blood to detect HIV and then creates an electrical signal that can be read by a computer, laptop, or handheld device. Amazing. Isn't it amazing how rapid technology is developing? Welcome, viewers from the key UK. Hello. Jolly air with the Brexit and all. You know, people, it's kind of funny. Brexit is more of a, when I was in favor of the Brexit 6 months before it happened, and then Donald Trump listened to our show, and then 2 days before it happened, he says, oh, yeah, I'm in favor of it. It's interesting to know that, hello, David Nation. Thank you so much. If we were to do this on a regular basis, we could talk about British politics every night. We could make an hour of British politics, but I'd be violating the Logan Act, wouldn't I? Aladdin's saying I had to set something up for Donald Trump to hook, line, and sinker it. You got to understand, when I craft a game, we're playing an elaborate chess match. I am playing a chess match against some very powerful people. And even though this seems like a simple talk radio TV show that we do every night, we're actually trying to our trajectory is to do a Hail Mary right to the core and the center of the heart of evil that's dominating our world. So when I do this show, I'm engineering catch points that other people are going to say, wow, that's a great idea. I think I'll make that work. And those are the easiest ones to sell. They're never the ones easy to implement. The easiest to sell are the hardest to implement. And he went for the easy ones to sell. Like anyone who's plagiarizing or copying ideas, you have to throw those out as like, yeah, go ahead and take my ideas. I don't really care. It's beyond me at this point. So when I saw him do that, and he went for the ideas that are going to be almost impossible to implement, which will form a quagmire of strategy problems for him, then go right ahead. Build the ocean dome, Mr. Trump. Implement term limits. Yes. Go for it. Create safe zones in Iraq where we're already in a massive quagmire. Oh, yeah. Waste more US dollars. This will ruin his chances for re-election and will eliminate any threat of any of his sons running, because they have their eyes on the presidency. We got Eric in our show nightly. Hi, Eric. Anyway, okay, guests, come on in. I know you got a lot of things to say. I was keeping you on hold for a while. Yeah. 324 million? That's not bad. Well, I anticipate you're pretty dang close, except we've got to add a number. It's billion. But let me take a look at your math. Hang on. Oh, you're looking at the population. Oh, okay. 129 billion. Really? Okay. Thank you. Well, that's very interesting. Yeah. I anticipate the plan will be offset because we're eliminating welfare. But thanks for doing the numbers. Surprise, surprise. Debate questions leaked to Hillary. Oh, did I say Hillary? I meant Trump. Yeah. Great, great. I haven't read this, but let me speed read it. Okay. Great article. Fantastic. Let's hit on this top points. Note that the information is particularly surprising given what we know about Trump and what we've seen of his behavior. Getting the questions up ahead. He called Fox executives saying he'd heard that her first question was a very pointed question directed at him. This disconcerted her because it was true. It was about the history of using disparaging language about women. Okay, Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly's memoir, Settled for More, isn't out until November 15th. Perhaps due to extenuating circumstances, the New York Times published its review of the book Thursday, revealing a few extra special, frankly disturbing details about Kelly's contentious relationship with Donald Trump, the soon-to-be president of the United States. Last week, leaked passages of the book allegedly revealed the astonishing breadth of Roger Ailes' disgusting sexism. Shocking, but not surprising. The details revealed in his review, however, are just as bad. According to Times, Kelly's troubles with Trump began in August, before the first Republican presidential primary debate. Trump's dissatisfaction with something Kelly had said on her show, The Kelly File, caused the president-elect to make this vague yet menacing threat. He said, quote, "I almost unleashed my beautiful Twitter account against you," unquote. She says he told her, "and I still may." If weaponizing his legion of slathering followers against her wasn't enough, Trump found other ways to make her life miserable. All of which are prime examples of a level-headed, competent human being who should definitely be in charge of this country, according to this article. Prior to the first presidential debate, Kelly reveals that someone leaked the questions to Trump. Kelly reveals that someone leaked the questions to Trump. Naturally, he wasn't pleased. Okay, that's when he said he called Fox and said that's what the first question is. Okay, she doesn't speculate where the leak came from. She reports you decide, but that's another unambiguous takeaway from this book. Parts of Fox, or at the very least Roger Ailes, the network's chairman until July, when he was given the boot after several allegations of sexual harassment were made against him, seemed to be nakedly colluding with a Republican presidential nominee. Okay, so Roger Ailes is the guy who's been leaking the questions in the debate. So it was a fictitious debate, like I said. Again, another factoid that adds to the argument that the election was rigged. Am I right? Thank you. Okay, no more spamming, guys. Remember we talked about your addiction to sex? Yeah, you're supposed to come up with healthy questions. I Like Stuff has something. Monday's supermoon is going to be the closest it's been in nearly 69 years. Some of you may be doing a little 69 under the moonlight.
This is the new comfort food, and it starts with Foster Farms Simply Raised Chicken, Pacific Northwest grown with no antibiotics ever.
Is going to look pretty spectacular on November 14th. Spectacularly big, that is. It's because the full moon will appear as much as 14% larger and 30% brighter that Monday night, making it a supermoon. A supermoon occurs when a full moon or a new moon is closest to Earth while orbiting it. This impressive sight occurs about 4 to 6 times each year. But this month's supermoon is especially notable because it's the closest a full moon has come to Earth in the last 68 years. And it will be another 18 years before the full moon gets that close again. The last supermoon of 2016 will occur on December 14th and will coincidentally block the view of the annual Gemini meteor shower. For Newsy, I'm Catherine Beek.
Good to know. Okay, I missed a post by Aladdin. You want to repost that for me? Or do you want me to look for that? Won't be surprised to hear the election was rigged, aren't they all? It only matters to what degree it was rigged. Right, John? You're right. Okay, here we go. Tesla Motors. Whoa. Almost ready for distribution. How much will it cost for a solar rooftop? This is interesting. Now, Tesla, the self-admitted crackhead, Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla, they said, how do you attribute all your success? He said it was to crack in his Twitter messages. We have to assume he's right. Billionaire Tesla CEO Elon Musk and crackhead recently launched the new Tesla solar roofs using a Desperate Housewives set as a model playhouse. The new Tesla roofs are equipped with solar panels. They're not just designed to harness solar power and store them in a power wall, but the new solar roof is also designed to replace existing roofs, just like our plant. The innovative solar roofs are said to be stronger than traditional roofing systems. The solar panels are built within the roofing panels so that the roofing itself will serve as the solar panels and vice versa. And the roofs will work with the Powerwall, which is priced at about $5,500 for the Powerwall, but there's no price here. In an educated guess, Brian Cinnamon of Green Tech Media expects the solar roof to cost about $15,000 for a set that is capable of producing 9,000 kilowatt hours per year. That's a guess. Well, guess on, buddy. Our rooftop is going to be only $10,000. That's right. And we don't have to sit there and... I just muted DT Laura. I'm so sorry. Hang on. DT Laura, that was my mistake. There we go. Okay. We had to go after some freak that came in here from the God knows what hellhole of 4chan. Thank you for loving me. And Meta Nemesis is starting to really, put the make on DT in the room. I should do a chat by chat rundown of numerous love affairs that are brewing under the auspices of political chat. Man blocks car exhaust pipe, car exacts revenge. Clip could be very disturbing if you hate pollution.
That's right.
My God. That's insane. Now, we've been talking a lot about blackface and, how it's such a great expression of freedom. This guy just lost a layer of his lung lining if he breathed any of that in. God forbid he's even breathing right now. See, inadvertent blackface on the fly. Instant cancer, I hear you. Yeah, well, you get that every day just breathing the buses when you go to the airport, and then you sit there and breathe jet fumes from the airport. How do you think some of the famous lung cancer victims in the world have died from? Breathing fumes, yeah. They say that John Wayne, let me tell you, Pilgrim, was out there in the same place that Steve McQueen was at, filming, near the Utah Dugway Fair. Yeah, they basically have radioactive dust out there, and they were breathing it. And both he and Steve McQueen both died of lung cancer. Very slow and disturbing death. Steve McQueen, my lookalike. Yeah, not to mention coal miners, I hear you, but they put out a hell of a lot of work, I'll tell you. Those guys down in the coal mines need to have better protection. The thing about wearing a respirator all day is you really need to actually make sure that you wear it. But the coal miners down there don't wear it all the time. So what I want to produce in 2020, obviously, because we're not doing it in this election cycle, what I want to produce is a kind of a recreational area that's completely filtered with air conditioned down below in the mines themselves. Because we are still addicted to parts of coal and the production of coal. It's a great, solid resource. We need to protect it. I hope Donald Trump does something real quick about the coal miner situation. There's 3 coal companies. United Coal, I think, is out of the woods right now, but Peabody Coal is about ready to go into bankruptcy. He needs to get protection for those right now. Hey, good night, Mystify Me. Sleep well. Has a smaller mouth than I do. So, not Peabody Coal. You've never heard of the name Peabody Coal? Well, yeah, that's a big coal mining company that is running into tough times right now with the price of oil going down, and coal has been less used because they can make electricity with oil at almost the same cost or less. Why do you hate condoms there, Jeff? What's going on with that? A lot of people talking about condoms tonight. It must be the topic of conversation around the world. I admit to have, I have a big mouth. I do. I can't help it. Oh yeah, Hillary lost my vote the minute she decided to run in 2007. I didn't want Hillary and I didn't want Barack Obama, so I essentially went for David Sponheim and built America's Third Party. Oh, believe me, Obama has declared war on coal, but I hope that's why I'm saying I hope Trump gives the coal industry a break, because we really need to keep that alive. I'm not a Democrat. I just don't believe in forcing coal industries out of business when we ourselves are using all the benefits of coal. I got to tell you, the gasification process is very real, and in wartime, Hitler developed a gasification process with coal that turned it into diesel. So the idea of getting rid of coal is like, oh my God, that's the one industry we can't get rid of. That's okay, DT, I don't mind. Coal is equal to 4 cents. Electricity is nothing else is that cheap. You're right. Thank you for that, 161. Do you want to work on my energy commission? All right. Somebody got cut. This Latino male has been cut. You get a Band-Aid on that, man. I hope he builds the Keystone Pipeline and fence. The wall is completely impractical, but I've been saying that since he stole the idea. I have the fence idea I came up with in 2008, the 1,000-mile fence idea, and he copied the idea of creating a 1,000-mile wall. So good luck with that, Donald. That too is going to be impossible to build. Every one of the ideas that he took from me that he's going to jump into, they're all like a nightmare to implement. But I had to throw those things into the mix because I knew somebody would be stupid enough to grab them and use them in their campaign. It was a safety technique I'd built in order to keep developing good ideas. But our concepts of building homes up, he didn't steal because he wants his cronies in on that industry. A homestead renewal plan is exactly what this country could do to create a government backbone. And hybrid capitalism is my economic solution to America's problems. Trump doesn't have anything remotely like this. This is the brainchild of Sarah and I, and we really believe that we can get this government to run efficiently, maintaining a constant vigilance on what's going on. So somebody wants a drill in their butt. Wow, that's pretty sad, dude. Oh my God, leaked top secret meeting reveals Obama warning Putin of alien invasion in 2017. No kidding. Okay, so Putin and Obama shaking hands on the alien invasion. This is a highly classified Kremlin document. Whether it's the truth or not, I still believe the alien agenda is still a fake story. But Nature World News, I don't know, can you vet this site for a second, please? Because, I mean, by the way, the story about Hillary killing off an FBI agent, or it never happened. Yeah, the whole FBI story, that's another thing we'll talk about, because they need to be held accountable for rigging this election. They're part of the rigging that went on when the FBI released key information that was just not true 7 days before the end of the election, claiming they were investigating Wiener's 650,000 worth of emails. And I heard all kinds of stories generated. I knew that there were leaks going out of the FBI just to spin the story. I didn't believe there was a story, and I was right. It was a smokescreen. But this is interesting. I mean, this is like a smokescreen, too. A highly classified Kremlin video has allegedly leaked online, showing a meeting between Vladimir Putin and incumbent Vice President Joe Biden with Obama, through Obama, warning the U.S. of an alleged alien invasion in September of 2017. According to the Daily Star, the file titled U.S. Warns Russia, Aliens on Their Way Will Be Here in 2017, has a typo, a glaring typo in the script. Okay. It says, aliens will be her in 2017. So is she going to turn into an alien? And who is she? Our Lady Dominatrix Uber bitch Hillary? Or what? I mean, do you think Hillary's an alien? I don't know. Just when they can't even get the spelling of a fake story correct, you know that's being written by the CIA War Department. That's the alien agenda, man. Aladdin's saying don't take anything seriously. They'll create a hologram to make it look like an alien agenda if they could.
What do you mean you don't agree?
This will be the Trump White House whenever somebody actually questions anything he's doing. Based on everything we've seen so far and what Tony Schwartz, the writer of The Art of the Deal, said, he has a zero attention span. This will be Trump in the White House every day.
What do you mean you don't agree with me? Do you know who you're dealing with?
Oh man, that is hilarious. Okay, somebody's having some problems with diarrhea. We'll try to get a doctor to help you out there. And This guy thinks he engineered Trump's victory. I did. I actually did. Trump will jail multi-illegal offenders entering across the border. Thank you. That was my idea. I hope that happens. We're going to hold him accountable, by the way. The whole idea of keeping refugees out of the country was our idea. So, thank you, Trump, for copying that idea. Those are the pluses where we all benefit from that. Why do you think I never wanted refugees in the country? I never wanted to target Muslims, though. That was an invention that came out of Trump's mind when he realized that he had to be strong against the jihad. The Islamic jihadists, who are radical Islamic people who are trying to take over the world, which they are, no question about it. But he went overboard when he started singling them out, and now he's got a lot of people in Dearborn, Michigan going, I don't know what to do. We will still get our welfare checks, honey. I've got 4 wives. They are perfectly fine. I just hope that he continues the welfare checks to us all. These people are buying Cadillac Esplanades with their welfare checks in Dearborn, Michigan. So he's going to have to do something with the welfare system. I've got this simple plan. This eliminates welfare entirely. Now, that doesn't mean a Muslim can't acquire a $400 check for his wife or one of his wives. He could have 4 wives. I had the last laugh. I've got millions of viewers around the world. Trump's getting to be old news already. So why don't you just go take your little party and pack it up and go masturbate for a while with yourself? Okay? We know that's what you're going to do anyway, so you don't have to be in our room. Tell your mom it's time for your medication. Mom! I certainly wish he did wipe Obama's legacy, but the story that they're saying right now, I guess 955. Thank you. The story that they're saying right now, stop talking to Scissor Fight that way. Thank you. Anyway, I didn't want to go into it. They're saying that he's not going to be able to eliminate Obamacare. The news that I read today emphatically said that it's highly unlikely that the Republicans are going to be able to repeal Obamacare, even though that's what they were talking about. Since Trump has been copying me for the past 2 years on our show, which we've been doing on camera with recorded broadcasts in servers in the Netherlands, I am going to continue doing what I've been doing and fight for issues like stopping refugees in our country, okay? Now, that just gives you guys who are tacit Trump supporters a chance to talk about the issues with the guy who originated all the ideas that Trump won with. I would say this is your back door to the reality of the core of the think tank of obviously Trump cherry-picked and went for the gusto with. So I would think this would be a good place for you to chat intellectually with all of us. So welcome Trump supporters, but don't talk about Trump in a favorable way. I support German people. My name is German. I didn't change it. I didn't change it to Spawn. I like Sponheim. Okay? I have a lot of pride being of Germanic heritage, but in no way am I going to stand here and promote Nazism or Hitlerianism. All right? Speaking of your mother who's asked you 3 times now to clean up your room or you won't be able to steal 20s out of her purse tomorrow. You know that's how she found out about your meth addiction. We don't really know how many votes I got right now. We're still processing this information, but thank you so much for asking 47 times tonight. I appreciate that. So welcome to the Impeach Donald Trump official website. True Americans want to get Russia out of the White House, so the best way to do that is to cite that he has violated the Logan Act by talking to Putin early on, prior to actually having top secret clearance. Making the Logan Act, the purpose of the Logan Act, to stop people with foreign interference going on in our country, arresting them and charging them with treason. But start with the Logan Act and then impeachment. Then we'll go from there. Since he doesn't want to prosecute Obama for lying about his birth certificate, I'd have to do that in 2020. That's almost like going back to George W. Bush and putting him in front of the Hague for war crimes. So much crap has gone on that I seriously doubt any of you even know how completely corrupt our government is. It's not a matter of doing negotiating. You can't communicate with a foreign leader about politics or governments. You can't communicate, period. So unless he recorded every transaction and can bring up the phone recordings of those for review by a grand jury investigation committee, a Senate subcommittee hearing, he can't really validate that he's not negotiating. It's a very slippery slope he's on. He's already violated the Logan Act talking to President Nieto of Mexico. See, and you have to understand, you've got to verify all of your conversations. See, if I were to call him right now, it would be very bad for a political here in the U.S., you see. If voting did anything, they wouldn't let us do it. Mark Twain. Thank you. So true. That's so true, yeah. Turn off? I don't even know why you'd want me to turn off guests. That's the best part of our show right now. I may not know how many votes I got unless I got 25,000 in any one of the states that took them. Now, I can trace back and go to all the states that and I should write them all letters saying could they do a count on how many votes I got. That's something I could do this week. I at least write them emails and write at least 10 of the states to see if they did count them. I love the guests, yeah. Except for somebody like George who's obviously looking for sex in the wrong place. George, when was the last time you had a meaningful relationship? Thank you. That's a good quote. I appreciate that quote. Oh, say, can you see? Well, you don't have to do that to me. I'm not in your world. Look, if you were dealing with a person who was horny and running around on the airport, hitting on stewardesses in Air Force One, you've got your president to be horny for. Why don't you just go masturbate over imagining Barack Obama in your living room with his transgender lover, Michael? They'll be available, I'm sure, for tours soon once they're out of the White House. You didn't know? Oh, okay, well, whatever. Yeah, you could probably hook up with them in some gay bar. Dude, you look just like the president. Well, let's be clear. People think that I'm heterosexual. He was probably talking to Michael on the phone.
Agent, sit down! Agent, sit down!
Now, nobody has debunked this picture. Ain't no sunshine when she goes. All right, so we got an absolute babbling idiot for president. Reading off the teleprompter for 8 years, keeping you going with hit points, talking points that were engineered by speechwriters. I predicted all of this in 2008 with my impersonation video of Barack Obama. Broken St. Obamas.
I'm rapping, just go along with that. And I got nothing to lose, but everything to gain. See, I ain't scared of the danger.
Okay, we've got a situation evolving right now on Newsweek. Wow. Check this out. This news story could take off.
The young people in particular, I hope you will hear this. I have, as Tim said, spent my entire adult life fighting for what I believe in. I've had successes and I've had setbacks, sometimes really painful ones. Many of you are at the beginning of your professional, public, and political careers. You will have successes and setbacks too. This loss hurts, but please never stop believing that fighting for what's right is worth it. And to all the women, and especially the young women, who put their faith in this campaign and in me, I want you to know that nothing has made me prouder than to be your champion. And to all the little girls who are watching this, never doubt that you are valuable and powerful and deserving of every chance and opportunity in the world to pursue and achieve your own dream.
Well, I can't disagree that
Donald Trump has a lot of firsts as the...
So this is a story that's migrating apparently as of Thursday. Wow. 3 states remain electoral toss-ups according to the AP projections. New Hampshire, Michigan, and Arizona. If Hillary Clinton wins the combined 31 electoral votes from those states, she will still be short of Donald Trump's 279 votes, more than the 270 needed to win the presidency. However, AP analyst Michael McDonald, who teaches political science at the University of Florida and runs the United States Elections Project, an election statistics website, says he is skeptical that Trump won Wisconsin, as the AP projected. If that state flips for Clinton and she wins the other toss-up states, she and Trump could be in a tie at 269 votes each. That would put Paul Ryan in the decision-making seat, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Wow. Well, this is a very interesting twist for a lot of you people that still have hope for Hillary Clinton. I'm not a Hillary fan. I believe that she's done so much wrong that she needs to be prosecuted. You watched her concession speech? Okay. Well, you guys are still in love with the Clinton that you really love. I mean, I can't talk you out of it. I still believe that there's 115 missing dead bodies out there that are not accounted for, and that I can't let that go. I will not sit back and give her a carte blanche approval rating. I'm sorry. You guys can believe whatever you want about Benghazi. That, too, is a black hole of problems. It's a Pandora's box, which could very well put her in prison. We'll see. I don't believe that Donald Trump is going to prosecute her. I think he's going to flip on that subject. So if you Trump supporters think that's going to happen, good luck. I would love to see her prosecuted. Yeah, if there's a hell, the Clintons will be there. Good point. All right, so Aladdin says, David, do you think every single second you'll be online would haunt you in 2020 like the Billy Bush hot mic did? Donald, your rhetorics are worse. Sorry to say this. No, that's okay. My rhetoric, you've already seen how a loudmouth person insulting people has gone all the way to the top of the presidency in a world that's politically correct. You've seen that happen right before your very eyes, so a lot of you need to temper what you're saying. My rhetoric, I deny the moon landing. I believe that they're spraying chemicals on top of our heads. I'm building in a coalition that is worldwide in nature. People around the world are denying that we ever went to the moon. I'm serious. I don't believe it's going to hurt me. I think it's going to help me. I think we're right on the verge of a new awakening, a new, almost, it is a completely mind-blowing awakening that we've been lied to. Yeah, I denied the moon landing. I still believe that it could possibly, Trump can't even get he'd have a hard time having a good bowel movement without a laxative. But the bottom line is, going to the moon has never happened again since the 70s. In over 47 years, we haven't been back. There's some real reason why that's not happening. And I've been front forward on that on our Conspiracy Monday night. There's huge questions. We could talk about those on our conspiracy show. But there's huge questions about our ability to get out of the Van Allen belts. And I can cite you an example right now of a NASA study that said that we can't make it out yet. This is from NASA, saying that someday we'll make it to the moon. I can bring that to your attention tonight if you'd like, just to get you on the road to understanding we may never have gone to the moon. That's why the administrative director of NASA 2 years ago said we'll never mine the moon. They know we've never been there. I have solid information that this whole event was faked. But whatever, if you don't believe it, that's fine. But these are outlandish positions I've taken because I am a fringe candidate. I've even said, being I'm a fringe candidate, I've even said that the possibility of chemicals being dumped on our heads daily is an attempt to kill us off. Somebody's got to say it. And I've even gone so far as to say that 9/11 was an inside job. And we may be looking at the people on the inside of that job in the White House soon. So you got to understand, I'm very controversial. I don't in any way hold back from controversy. Okay, Joe Arpaio, Secretary of Homeland Security, could be an appointment, yeah. They're talking about Joe Arpaio, yeah, and I'd be okay with that. Putting Chris Christie as Secretary of Homeland Security, I would not be okay with. But see, I'm okay with Joe Arpaio. No problem. Absolutely, he's fine. I think he's done a fairly straightforward job. He was part of the cold case posse. He's one of the people that believes that Obama was born in Kenya, despite what Trump and Giuliani believe. And Trump flipped on that whole story. You know that. The 28-page report was a throwaway report, part of the Pan-Pacific documents, which is just a throwaway report on 9/11. It implicates Saudi Arabia, a strong trading partner for us right now. In no way is Saudi Arabia... That's no different than saying, well, the 9/11 Commission implicated 18 Saudi Arabians or one Iraqi or whatever. That's no different. It's a dead issue. It's a throwaway issue. Nobody's going to pursue that. Trump certainly is not going to pursue angry investigations anymore into Saudi Arabia. That's done with. But that's not the real one. That's a throwaway. That's a smokescreen, the 28-page report. That was to get rid of Jeb Bush in the election. No, I don't believe oxygen is a conspiracy. That's a lie. Thank you. No, I'm not nuts. I've got a 185 IQ, and I can think circles around you. But that's okay. It's 238,000 miles to the moon. Let me put it in perspective. The space shuttle only went 238 miles before the tiles burned up. Okay? They had even bigger tanks to get the space shuttle up in the air than Apollo or Saturn or Gemini. In fact, they called the tanks the Saturn, the liftoff tanks that got up the Apollo out there. But 238,000 miles to the moon, space shuttle only went 238 miles before the tiles burned up. That gives you some perspective right there. That should get you on the road to understanding. But you will see this video. I will show it to you right now. At the end of our show, I'll kick off the end of our show with it. The technology just isn't there yet. NASA is bragging about the technology getting to the next level, and you'll see that in the video, but they themselves probably didn't even realize they were spilling the beans when they made this video about NASA and how we haven't been able to get to the moon. But they actually said it in the video. It's hilarious. NASA admits they can't send humans through the Van Allen belts. And most of the NASA news pieces that come out of NASA actually they're floating around or something. Or they're on strings. It's weird. There is no friction in space, right? Sure. Yeah, that's what I used to think. I used to think they boomeranged around the moon too. I don't believe any of that happened. I believed it for a while, but when I looked at the re-entry vehicle that NASA deployed for Apollo 11, the re-entry vehicle was oblique in shape, not pointed like a rocket. So how did they get through the Van Allen belts with an oblique shape with hardly any fuel left? I mean, the whole idea is absurd. Just use your brain. I don't think anybody has ever copulated in place. No, or in space, rather. David, I have a request. Lee Greenwood's God Bless America. Okay, we'll start that out with tonight. You want to get super patriotic? That's cool. Merry Christmas, yeah. This will be a Reagan flashback. You think so? Loud and saying, okay. Either way, I don't mind taking the heat for having to at least listen to people who believe that 9/11 was an inside job. I mean, if a third-party candidate can't take on the extreme issues, what good would I be? Seriously, I wouldn't even be doing any of you any justice if I talked about all the same things every mainstream media puppet does on a nightly basis. I wouldn't even be helping you. There's so much more that's available out there in the blogosphere to talk about. Federal court order IRS to disclose Clinton and Foundation tax exemption documents. There you go. Well, you know, this is going to be a wash, I'm sure. Bill Clinton is going to walk. The reason why Bill Clinton and Hillary are going to walk, I'll tell you the reason. You want to hear it? It's going to hurt. The 9/11 28-page report is absurd. It's irrelevant. Even the CIA said that it's damaging to even bother with it. It's going to hurt relations with Saudi Arabia. It was a red herring. It was a smokescreen. It doesn't have any relevance to the 9/11 case. It'll flesh out nothing but bad relations with Saudi Arabia. You're wasting your time. You basically jumped on the bandwagon when you heard it knock out Jeb Bush in the race. Its purpose was to knock somebody out of the race. Mad Dog, Trump has never made any effort to contact me. If I'm tweeting some night and the real Donald Trump, isn't that his tweet name, the real Donald Trump? If he writes me a tweet message and says, David, I want to talk to you, I'd be okay with it. We can open up a dialogue. Yeah, you got definitely a victory with that one, but I'll tell you, if he doesn't follow up on any of these promises. Bottom line is, there's more evidence that 9/11 was an inside job, and if you want to find out more, you really want to find out more, you've got to ask yourself, why didn't the Pentagon show any other camera angles of that missile that hit the Pentagon? How come the FBI never released any more camera angles? There were 83 camera angles. And they only released 15 frames of one. What are they hiding? Personally, I am me. No, I can't accept an I am. I have to have a direct tweet from the real Donald Trump. Yeah, we don't like Trump as president. I want to impeach him. I think I explained that to you earlier. Hey, we're going to end the show on technology tonight with the hope that we'll be able to come up with better technology to someday go to the moon. And we'll kick it off with this piece from NASA that they did underwater or somewhere. It's interesting to see that most of the NASA employees today are actually ex-Navy SEALs. Most of them are underwater Navy SEALs. So if you don't think that they're faking NASA, never a straight answer, by going underwater with a lot of the motion stuff that they do, this, I think, might have been not underwater. These look like the hanging marionette models. He violated the Logan Act. And I'll give you guys a wrap-up here of the thing I started with the show with. Donald Trump, according to this article from, and this is a pretty legitimate, Washington Post does pretty good work, Moscow had contacts with Trump, the team, during the campaign. Now, during the campaign, he doesn't have top secret status. And even if you were to argue that now he can talk to them personally on his private line, he didn't have that right when he was running for president. The Logan Act was designed specifically to stop foreign intrusion into our political system. It is a classic breach of the Logan Act on all levels, which means that Donald Trump cannot possibly become president of the United States. He's already violated our national security and needs to be processed as at least at the very minimum a violation of the Logan Act, which is a civil penalty. Treason, however, is a huge penalty. To allow a foreign government to operate within our own auspices of political action is a clear and unbelievable violation of our country's safety and security. We're not at war with Russia, so he can't really commit treason. I want softer relations with Russia. I don't want to bend over, grease up, and have them controlling my administration by sticking it in me deep because of financial ties to Russian mobsters. Trump has to worry about that. So if you don't get what I'm talking about, stay tuned for tomorrow's show. We'll keep talking about it. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. This has been awesome. Let's see if we can get God Bless the USA. Take care, everybody, and I hope you have a good evening, and try to put this whole worry about the future to rest. Take each day as it comes. No, there is violation as long as he's communicating prior to getting approval. Clear and absolute violation of the Logan Act. I have never ever sounded insane to anybody. I have an incredible ability to understand things. And due to that intelligence, I'm able to express things that maybe you don't see. I can see the forest from the trees, folks, and right now it's coming. We're heading toward a massive burn down. By applying brain power, you're able to actually think. Critical thinking is something that you're born with, but you can also acquire and tone your skills. Some of you don't have that ability. Take care, everybody. Good night.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had